the dailies. Hope you guys having a good day so far. Welcome to the stream, guys. Oppenheimerdinger, female, mana, melee, not a top laner, must be a jungler then, because it can't be ADC obviously. Jungle, female, mana, melee, human, 2012i. GG. Next. Oh, never mind. How many female junglers were released in 2012? Because I'm looking through the list, and there can't be. There are none. Maybe I don't own the champion. Shyvana doesn't have mana. Sejuani. Ever been stabbed by a feather? Soraka. As a star, maybe Zoe. Yeah, nice. Rock. It's gonna be Malphite. That's obviously Syra. Camille. LeBlanc, Kaisa. Yeah, who looks like this? Evelyn. I don't know what to play, so I'm gonna play Sion. It's as simple as that. Good start.
This IRL sexo do this, IRL sexo do this.
Willkommen,
IRL
willkommen.
sexo.
What's my plan here? I'm out of there. Is Sion good in arena mode? Sion is pretty good in arena mode, yes. I've been spamming arena mode. I stayed up all night last night playing with Kermit. And I got Gladiator. I'm Gladiator in arena right now. Carried by Kermit. Yeah, dude, shut the fuck up. It's a 2v2 game mode. What do you want me to do? Queue up solo? You would have said I got carried with whoever I played with. Whoever I played with, you would have said I got carried by that person. Oh my god. What? How didn't she get CC'd for longer? She has unflinching, man. That always catches me off guard. Damn, and she got out. And she got out, my bad. Should I die under tower here? That is hella not worth. Fiora has a dashing ability, so you can't. It's a lot harder to do this strategy versus that. I'll ulti just to be safe. I am not risking it. Solo Bolo. I'm in her head. You will always win the Fiora matchup if you can predict her parry. Alright, so it's a mind game. If she does it well, you will lose. If you do it well, she will lose. Hecarim OTP with schizophrenia has more viewers than you, by the way. Shut the fuck up, man. I'm still relevant. Satisfying Q. Oh, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Playing for poke here. Yeah, dead as fuck. Nice. I could fuck with her. Oh, never mind, she walks around. Oh, you know what? Well, you know what? If she's gonna walk around, I'll take one more wave then. Mistake. Please don't go for me. Don't be that guy. Hey! Oh my god. I gave shutdown now to Fiora. That's just not what you want to see. That's just terrible.
Feel the thorns embrace.
Again. Another solo bolo in the top lane. 100% kill participation. This is not ancient. We all know how this is ending. Like, come on. When the boss of FS has the best KDA in the team, this is fucking doomed, isn't it? But I can try. She has Divine now, so I don't fuck with her anymore. I'm gonna go top. Here's the game plan. This is what I like to do a lot. This is what probably differentiates me from a normal player, a challenger player and a normal player. What I like to do in a game is I like to make a plan when I don't do anything. When I'm walking to lane, I like to make a plan what I want in my life. So here my plan is push out top lane and then roam to mid lane. So that's gonna be my plan. If she lets me. Playing very aggressive. Maybe I just have to use my ulti to kill her then instead. No way. No way. Okay, so what's the plan now? Drugs. Go to top lane, push it out. Then what? Should I look to 1v1 the Fiora? I think I actually beat her. If I played well. Seeing as I ulted when I was level 11 and she ulted when she was level 10, her ulti cooldown is longer than mine. Ah, nah, I'm fucking getting shit on right now. Oh, free kill. Now I'll go and take the tower. Seeing Echo, he's not strong at all. If he comes, I can just kill him. I'm not scared of getting ganked. Now go and recall. What do you do when you recall, huh? You think. Ah, shit. I messed up. Please be here. Thank God. Alright, so you think, what am I doing next? Since I had to use my ulti here, I'm not gonna grow. I like to only grow when I have my ulti. Go back top lane. I'll go top lane and farm till I get my ulti back. Then I'm gonna look for a fight. Oh, come on. Come on. As I'm in her head, I win the mind game. So it's a free kill. I'll push out now and then I'll look to kill. Maybe mid. I'm not scared of a gank. I kill anyone who comes. Because I'm a top laner. Top laners tend to always beat anyone. Nah, like... You know, she has flash and then she ultis as well. Oh, fuck, man. What did she live with? 1 health? 1 health live? Unlucky, man. I don't know what I'm doing. So fucking tilting, man. It's like, come on, dude. Kraken, first item. Jesus. Okay, relax, buddy, relax. Man, another TP, I can't, man. Get the fuck off of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, little bitch. Oh, 3,000. Uh-oh. Hi. Hi. How many items? Fiora 2, Echo 2, Lux almost 3, Ashe has 3, Sion 4.5. 4.5 items. Abusing Bowser's Law will always give you an economical advantage. Now I can probably just beat Fiora straight up. No questions asked. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, dude. I'm gonna look to solo bowler her, and I think I should be able to, like, I'm better. It's about confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself,
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
with confidence you can accomplish anything. Ah! No! I have my ulti back up soon. She's not gonna expect it. Hey man, and then the flash always comes out with the flash. Every time. Come on. Okay, we got the Baron. That's good. Good job, team. Good job, Buzz. Oh, she did so much. Fuck. How did they get the recall off so fast? Weren't they fighting? I swear they were fighting. We lost. Persona cleared the wave. Let's hope it's enough. Yeah, we're good, we're good. Go, Tristana. Go! Go! Jump on them! Can we take this? No, we can't. Fuck, no. You're a fucking feather, Jesus. How do we even win this now? That's how we win it. Let's go, baby. Let's go, team. Hi. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Nice. Actually, impossible. 280. How does she have 280 armor? What the fuck? Okay, let's go. Now we win. zoning. Are we winning? Tristana is going for the end! No way, no way, no way. What a play! Go! Take it fast! No, she got it! Big! The... Please, Tristana! Oh my god! Let's go! The Baron steal in the finishing move from Tristana! I like that. I like that.
A promising garden. Take careful steps. An ally has been slain. Things aren't always shut down. So much more to see. Venture off the beaten path. An enemy has been slain. Just a hand.
At least I think we.
Right. So you think that trans women are women, all this stuff, and like gay, all the sodomy, all that stuff is good. What do you think? I've been having this discussion with people. I think people inherently know that incest is wrong or bestiality is wrong, right? Because it's unnatural. Like any sex that doesn't completely correlate to reproduction is wrong, right? That's what I believe. But I'm wondering what you think about that. You seem like to be okay with all this other, like the LGBT stuff and, you know, mommy doing BBC porn. Do you think that it's morally okay to have sex with an animal?
Personally,
Wow.
I don't really care because we already like. I mean, like we already torture and eat animals, which is probably more fucked up than fucking animal. But I mean, like anybody that fucks an animal probably has a whole bunch of other weird problems going on in their head. I would imagine. Like,
It's okay. Like, should bestiality be legal?
yeah, I don't give a.
Wow.
Do you think that
Okay.
torturing and eating animals should be legal?
I think that you should eat animals the halal way. They should be slaughtered. In Islam, we believe that you should only eat animals that are slaughtered the proper way. Where
I'm not talking about
they're-
slaughtered. I'm talking about like hooking cows up to hormones and drinking milk or pumping things into things to make
No,
it
that's
beefier.
not okay. That's haram.
Okay,
You're
so you
supposed
eat
to
all factory farmed and all that stuff.
I'm eating halal meat now. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
well, at least
so
you're
that's
consistent on
the
it,
proper way to eat it because you need to add some moral to that. You think bestiality is okay, right? Okay, do you think that incest is morally okay?
The main problem with incest is usually intrafamily dynamics are introducing a whole bunch of bad power stuff that makes it not healthy to pursue. So like older sibling, younger sibling is probably always going to be unhealthy. Parent-child is almost always going to be unhealthy. The issue with incest is that the internal family dynamics make it really hard for anybody to consent to any type of sexual relationship.
But what if we equate your same thing? Like, what if you don't? Because you're saying it doesn't matter about public perception. So if they're both adults, a son
If
and a
you've
mother.
got like two fucking twin brothers that are like 27 and they want to fucking college, then knock them out. I don't care. Go for it.
Wow. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is when I think atheists don't see that there's a soul involved, and committing these deviant acts starts to remove your soul from your existence. And when you start thinking that everything's okay, just because like you can justify it in a debate or something, there's some things that are just inherently wrong because deep down we know it. I think a lot of people even know this stuff without religion, but these are just wrong without debate, without discussion.
Sure, and
I
I mean,
think
like,
stuff
I
like this, you
understand-
could just point blank period say this is wrong.
Yeah, and I understand you think that, but the problem is at the end of the day, you're not even relying on your actual intuitions. You're going by the weird religious ones. At the very
No,
least,
that's
like,
not even before
Sure,
my
no.
reversion to Islam. I would tell you the same thing.
That's
Like,
fine.
I
On
was an
my-
atheist, like I was a Reddit
Yeah.
atheist too, and I would have said the same thing, like, no, bestiality is wrong, and like why it just is. There's
Gotcha.
some things that are
Sure.
that just
and
are
that's
wrong.
great. That's fine. I would rather use moral intuitions and reasoning to try to avoid harm for people, right? Like you can sit here and be like, "Oh my God, you feel this way about bestiality and incest and blah blah blah." But I think that the way that your movement views women is fucking disgusting. Like it's worse than any amount of doggy fucking or mother-son when they're both 30 or 40 years old fucking could ever be. The way that you guys view and treat women. So, but I mean, like you have like your feelings for that, and you think it's all internally justified, and the souls have men over women, blah. Well, that's
Do you
fine.
see how
I mean,
you
that's
just
your thing.
equated men leading in a relationship, a red pill relationship to bestiality?
Hold on. I'm not equating any. What do you think equating means?
You're comparing it, and you're saying that it's equal and that one
Hold
thing
on.
is worth.
What do you think comparing means? Do you think comparing means equating? Why would you compare two things that are equal?
Fine, maybe that wasn't the perfect word, but that it's insane to me.
It's not the perfect
Oh my
word.
God.
You're pivoting. No. The problem is you can't engage with what I'm
You
saying.
pivoted from bestiality
No,
to red pill
I didn't
relationships.
pivot. I showed you that you feel incredibly comfortable in your moral reasoning because of souls or intuition or whatever. And what I'm saying is I have other moral reasoning that takes that has a huge problem with some things you say about like women. You're sitting.
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. Now, if you spend any time online, you've probably noticed that in the last couple of years, it has become increasingly common for parents to not show their kids on social media or to blur out their faces, to put a little emoji over their face. The first time that I really noticed that was with Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard's kids, because I used to love Armchair Expert. I still think that Dax Shepard has an amazing podcast, and I would follow them on social media, and they were very, very careful about what they shared about their private life concerning their kids, and they never showed their kids' faces on social media. They still do not, and that was like 3 years ago. And now I've noticed this in the influencer space, like with mommy bloggers and family bloggers and lifestyle bloggers. They've started being very, very cautious when only a year ago, they were showing their kids' faces to millions and millions of followers. And now I'm even seeing it with my close personal friends who don't even have public pages with lots of followers, but they are still being very careful about what they show. They're blurring out their kids' faces. And I think that that is a very, very good thing. Before we dive into it though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or off the clock episode. Alrighty, so a new article came out from the New York Post this weekend, which made me think of this whole thing, and it was titled, "I made my kid social media famous and it was a huge, scary mistake." So the gist of the article is that they talk about this growing lifestyle mommy blogger. Her name is Katarina Strode. She has about 50,000 followers, I believe, and she made her 2 young kids famous over the last 2 years. But then in 2022, she had this wake-up call because she heard the story about another mommy blogger who made her son famous and then realized that there were all of these accounts online who were downloading and stripping photos of her son and posting them as their own and trying to capitalize on his image when they weren't his family. And Katarina said, "Learning about that woman's experience was a wake-up call. It literally sent a shiver up my spine. It never dawned on me that people out there who might mean my kids harm could be saving pictures of them onto their phones and doing whatever they want with them." People! Listen, I want to be nice. I'm going to be very, very nice. But lady, how did you not know that there were bad people out there that are going to do harm to your kids because you are blasting them out on the internet? You were giving all of their information out to millions of people. Even if you only have 40,000 followers on TikTok, your videos still just show up in people's algorithm. You have millions of eyes on you every single day, and you did not think that there was a risk? You didn't think that people could be abusing that? Please, we have had the internet for so long now. We know that it is forever, that it is permanent. Be more careful. I don't want to attack this woman, but I read this and I was like, really? Like, this is the revelation that you had? Okay. Another mom in 2021 said that she wishes she had known sooner how innocent things can be used in not so innocent ways. Quote, "I would post innocent photos of her in a bikini, her 3-year-old daughter. I would post innocent photos of her in a bikini, and now I just cringe when I look back because I feel like I was essentially just feeding her to child predators." Why? Why? Like, I even look at little 3-year-old girls at the beach walking around in bikinis, and I'm like, oh my God, please, no, there's weird people everywhere. Do not do that. Come on. It's unnecessary. It's like, be more careful. The world that we live in is so scary. Why would you risk that? And of course, the more we know about the internet, and we learn more about it every single day, the scarier that it gets. But this still seems like common sense. Like, why would you post your personal life, your innocent children, to thousands of people online who you don't know? It's why you don't post your address online. It's why you don't give out your phone number. Why would you give out your innocent child's information without their consent? Like, this is not Facebook 10 years ago where you were just sharing your, baby's, 1-month-old photos to Aunt Margaret and your grandma. This is exploiting and capitalizing on your children without their knowledge or their consent. And one thing that I learned in this article that I did not know is that experts are calling this sharenting. share parenting. Not to be confused with sharding, guys, because that's what I first saw when I read it. I was like, oh my god.
Was that a poop joke?
No, sharenting, which I think is hysterical. And this is widespread. The article also said that per a 2021 survey, over 75% of parents share their children's likeness online, and 8 out of 10 parents have friends or followers on social media that they have never met in real life. Just think about how if you have a public Instagram page, who can just find you and follow you?
That's kind of messed up.
That's weird. It is very, very weird. How have we gotten so comfortable with this so quickly? We need to be very uncomfortable with this immediately, guys. Now, a lot of focus on all of these articles is on the parents. You know, the parents writing that they regret this, that they're so worried, that they feel so, awful about doing this to their kids, especially because their kids are still so young. So, they're not really understanding that they will face consequences for their parents' actions. But the internet has been around for a while now, and the first generation of online kids has started to grow up, and they are already dealing with the consequences. And even though they are already dealing with some consequences, I'm sure that it is at a much lower level than the kids of today are going to have to deal with. The kids whose faces are blasted out on TikTok, the kids whose parents film them sitting on the toilet and post them on TikTok for millions of people to see. We don't know what's going to happen with those kids yet, but we do know what's happening with my generation. There are multiple articles about it. This is one from The Guardian. I was so embarrassed I cried. Do parents share too much online? From first smiles to teenage experiments, a generation of children has had their every move posted by their parents. What can they do about it? This is from the New York Times. Don't post about me on social media, children say. Another one from The Atlantic. The first social media babies are growing up and they are horrified. How would you feel if millions of people watched your childhood tantrums? And that isn't even that weird. Like, parents post creepy stuff online. And I look at that and I go, oh, no, don't post that. I'm sure that they think it's very cute. But imagine your 15-year-old daughter sees that friends at her school find these photos. Like, think more than 100 likes ahead. Like, think years down the line, not just how good it's going to feel when people are liking your photo. I also saw this TikTok and it had a really important message on this point, kind of talking about the kids and how they will feel. So let's just watch that.
Do you post your kids online? I know I'm guilty of it every now and then, but I'm about to show you a video explaining why social media is not your safe place to be posting photos of your kids.
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Ella. Well, a digital version of me. Just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? All you need are a couple of pictures, like the ones you share on social media, where they can be taken and used by everybody. I know, for you these pictures are just memories, but for others, they are data. And for me, maybe the beginning of a horrible future. A future where my identity can be stolen just like that. Where I can go to prison for things that I would never do. Imagine my credit score being destroyed, Dad. Or my voice copied to scam you, Mom. Mom, I'm in trouble. I need you to send me money, please. So please, Mom. Please, Dad. Protect my virtual privacy.
It's so good. Now, obviously, that was a campaign, that was a PSA, but the fact that they could create an adult version of this girl from images that her parents have posted online is terrifying. And that's happening every single day. You have no idea what these people are doing with what you post online. And as an adult, you can consent to that. You understand the risks. You can put boundaries. You can make your accounts private. But when you are a 6-year-old little girl, you have no idea that your entire childhood is being blasted out to millions of people. You have no concept of that. What happens when you grow up? I remember a story a few months ago of a girl whose parents were mommy bloggers and they blasted her all over the internet. I think it even started on like MySpace years ago. But she had this huge digital footprint, and I was trying to find her for this episode, but I couldn't. But she wrote this whole story about how awful it was growing up with everybody at her school and everybody in the world knowing intimate details about her childhood. That even her family wasn't private. Even like small childhood memories were not something that just she knew about. Like it's not only just scary, it's just sad. Their innocence is being stripped away from them. And I know you might think, okay, I'm not a mommy blogger, I'm not doing this, but still, you put your children out there. There are creeps. We see it every single day. It is terrifying, guys. There is a lack of consent and a lack of privacy. And for those parents who decide to capitalize on their children's images and turn it into a whole brand, that is even worse. Like, it's awful. Because not only do you sacrifice trust with your child, but you welcome millions of people and eyes into your home. is that really something that we should be condoning or supporting? Like, and I didn't even touch on the AI porn stuff and the trafficking side of that, because I will be talking about it on Friday, but I think it warrants an entire episode. Thanks for watching this episode of The Comment Section. I hope you enjoyed it and that you maybe even learned something. If you've not already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and of course, ring that notification bell so that you never miss an episode.
Möchte keinen davon ernennen. Keinen. Das ist so wild.
We have shown you Fishing Bay to GA's videos We have shown you Fishing Bay to GA's videos previously.
And they called him. Like again. This is the third time.
He has had the cops called on him multiple times for fishing in a public setting.
I asked you earlier. You didn't say where did you live.
And been harassed by residents. Now he's caught up with the HOA president.
Drolat.
Drolat.
Nice to meet you. You the president, you said?
I am the president.
Somebody told me they'll say was the president yesterday.
No, what they actually said, that was John McCallowitz, our vice president.
Oh yeah, he didn't say that.
Well, whatever, he's on, but he did say that he's on the board.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the head of this. Everybody come to me and talk to me about this, and I'm the president.
Well,
I said,
all
okay.
I'm trying to get to is
Okay, ich hätte nicht gedacht, dass das so viel Damage macht, ehrlich gesagt.
stop posting viral videos on the internet. I don't know social media. I don't participate in any, but I've been told it's gone crazy all around the country. So we've got to help each other and not post viral videos. Please, I'm asking, please.
The only reason I film it is to protect myself, because multiple times when I was here and on the other location, they called the police, and the police.
Other location, the
The
dam,
one that,
big dam.
not the dam, but the gazebo.
Yeah, where the gazebo is.
Yes, sir.
I call that the dam site.
Okay, same location. And I told them I don't want any problems. I live here. Please leave it alone. I was bothered 4 times by 4 different people yesterday.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I fish here all the time. Been over for about 2 years.
Well,
So-
one of the outcomes is, after talking to your father, Enrique, that I'll certainly get a blast email out to everybody, but I have to be able to say something specific. So I am still asking you, don't post any more videos. Protect yourself.
And the Prez simply does not understand. Thus,
And we'll have a discussion as a community about the black-white part of things. It's obviously paramount.
It's the issue.
What?
Because many times Tony is out here with his best friend, Elijah. We call him Catfish. He's white.
He's white. Oh, okay.
Very loud. Sometimes he can be obnoxious. Loud. And you know who they come and harass? They come and harass him. And Catfish don't even live around here. And they didn't say nothing to him. A couple times that didn't happen. And Catfish had to come and say, hey, he stays here. Leave him alone. Don't go looking in his car. You can't take pictures in his car. Things like that. You know, this is why he filmed stuff and he posted to let people know you can't get away with this harassment.
they try to explain the purpose of filming, which is, as they correctly stated, to protect themselves.
And like I said, when they called the police last time, the police said, hey, next time have evidence.
Have evidence
Yeah.
of your ID. you
No,
mean?
evidence of what's going on. Record.
okay.
I said, that's fine with me because that's part of my job too. I film. And then I let them know. It's yeah, yes, absolutely.
That's your job.
That's my job. So I let them know it's not a secret. I'm like, hey, boom, I'm filming. And then they still continue to say the stuff. And I'm like, I told you I was filming.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't stop it. It's private property.
So, because I never met them. Have they complained?
Privately, he's an older guy. He's fearful. Just understand. That's all.
Yeah, quick thought. Fearful of what? Fearful of what exactly?
And then the thing is, only reason he fishing because everybody else be out here fishing. This is the spot.
When I first moved in, when we came to do our clothes on the house, there was somebody out fishing. So for me, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I can fish.
Sure.
And I thought nothing nothing of it.
So one comment that really stuck out to me in Fishing Bay to GA's videos was something I thought I heard and then was later confirmed. And here is that comment. It's from Lil Ivy, who said, in
the Hoa pace.
In the first video, John said the HOA pays for the lake. Fishing Bay responded and said yes, he did. Now you see the contradiction, right? First I couldn't fish there because it's for residents only. Now I can't fish there because it's private. Greg would weigh in, so if the HOA pays for it and it's private property, that tells me you are part owner. Enjoy fishing. Lastly, one user also chimed in, yeah, I'm not buying that at all. If you can take it to court, if the HOA owns the lake and you pay into that HOA, you have access to that lake 100%. 100%. That is if he does, which we don't know yet. We assume he does. Another part of this that stuck out to me was when I, rhetorically asked, what are you fearful of? Because when the HOA president says, he's an old school guy, he's fearful, oh, we do. I just wanted it spelled out so we could have it on camera of how racist this person is, because it would go hand in hand with the allegation that Fishing Bay, the GA, and I believe his dad was in that last video. His dad has been great throughout these videos. But I believe I overheard his dad saying, we have seen so many people fish here. Why is it us? Why does that man have a problem with us? Once again, we want to get that on video. Spell it out for us. And the complete disconnect. I understand the HOA president is like, hey, I'm not on social media. I don't know how to do this. Understood. Understood. But the reason that there are so many in society who record themselves like this, whether it is from racist people, whether it is from police interactions, whether it is just simply allowing to because you are out in plain view in public, it is for protection. That's it. I hope this gets resolved. I hope this man can just fish.
If you offer
Why is
me
this such a
$1,000,
Well, we
I'll be
know.
grateful, and that's cool.
We
But
know.
it's not going to change my life. But if you offer a homeless person $1,000, theoretically, it could be life-changing. Marginal utility is, I think it's a concept that comes from economics, but basically, like, the next amount is always going to be, even if the absolute value is the same, the utility granted is going to be a little bit different. Your first $10,000 that you make is going to be a lot different than your next $10,000. A person making $50,000 a year, their life is going to change completely going from $50,000 to $100,000 a year. But a person making $1 million a year, their life's not going to change going from $1 million to $1,050,000. If marginal utility is true, and people at the top can afford to lose a bit of money and give it to people at the bottom, their lives are hardly going to be impacted at all. And the people at the bottom theoretically can have vast improvements based on that redistribution. If you offer me
Ah, she hits 6. How am I 6'2" here? Nah, boy, you ain't outplaying no one today.
Cut the last breath from them.
Time for a good Saturday, boys. We're gonna reach the skies today. We're gonna hit the Masters. We're 7 wins, 2 loss, D2 already. Ready to f***ing skyrocket. Sunglasses, yes sir. That's the playstyle today. The Saturday playstyle, let's go. Well, first game of the day. Let's just farm it up. Alright, not actually gonna play with sunglasses, come on.
You are such a pathetic piece of shit. Shame on you. Shame on you, you fucking liar.
Brock electrocute, she used all her energy. Let me try to level 3 first here. She has E, so I'm not gonna kill without flash. That could have been the kill with flash up. I'm actually dead.
Fucking idiot!
Never mind. My guy is 1 HP trying to make plays. And it don't fly here, it don't fly.
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
She has no TP, that means she's gonna miss a bunch of CS because Cannon Minion is already 1 HP. Let me W out, please. Come on, and this is bad. She's just dead, isn't she? Let me W out, please. Come on, and this is bad. She's just dead, isn't she? It's okay, I'll get the kill back. Boom! And we freeze this. This is pushing to us. This is really good. Let me pink ward that real quick. This Akali is not gonna have a good game. I'm telling you right now. Lost a big wave and now died with a freezing wave. Oh my god, what happened to my cannon there? Okay, she inted again. This guy is actually just inting it. Level 7 to level 4? Yeah. F for Akali, dude. I haven't gapped someone mid in a long time like this, bro. Even in Palat, it wasn't happening like this. Just chill. I have a big ass lead. I don't need to deny her anymore as much. Because I don't have flash, remember, so. This is damage though. What? She's absolutely tilted out of this world, bro. The day barely started. And this man is fucking tilt. And this guy's also about to run it down. Never mind, we're skews NA. What did he say? He said, I'm just gonna W here. Dominating. Man, I was just like sitting there wondering what the fuck is in Akali's brain. Let's go dive with no chill. I want to kill her. I don't think she's worth the gold, is she? Yeah, I just 26 gold. The farm I got was more worth than her, bro. You're really sitting there? I feel bad for this guy, bro. Ah, that's supposed to do anything. Yeah. successful first game. All right, we're coming home, bro. Home to Hilo. Speaking of home, when are you coming back to NA? 20th of August. I'm streaming until the 9th of August, and then I'm gonna take vacation with the girl in Spain, and then, yeah, 20th I'm flying back, and I should be streaming again like 21, 22nd in NA. It's Shaco Fizz 2, and I don't have Flash, so we might wanna try to play very safe. Come to Madrid. We're going to Barcelona, actually. I'm on the beach. And I heard Madrid is very beautiful. I'm keeping my distance. I'm queuing from afar, so he can't just eat out. We have TP, so if I can just take his spots for free. Fuck me, bro. Where's my cannon? That's a flush. Well, we got ourselves XP lead, I guess. That's that. He does have Ignite, I don't, so we have to remember that. If we can burn some of these spots slowly, we can just TP and... He's inting. That's fucking trash to level up. Oh well. There's probably a Shaco here. He's baiting for thing, he's baiting for Fizz. Come on, bro, stop doing Wraith Camp, man. Whoa, bro. Okay, I think I'm done playing mid lane after Rome because my Rek'Sai is just not cooperative. I think their bot lane is also rotating mid right now for whatever reason. Yo, what's up, bro? Might be dead, but yeah. I never die, bro. I wanna gank the Xayah though. I made her flash, I made her R. So let's cash in on the investment, guys. Wow, we just got Drake and she has nothing to escape this. Let's try to cast the skill, very important. We cast this. So I'm not gonna combo until she's low HP. Here we go. Yes, sir. Nothing good is going. Baiting time! No, bitches. It is not shark time, it's LL Stylendo time. Coming, W soon. We win these, we win these, we win these. Fucking box, bro. What? Oh shit, I was like, I thought Leona one-shot the Janna there. I was like, what? Questionable move plays right now. My name is what? Huh? Alright, bro. This should be GG. I think the moral of the enemy team is going to shit. And it should not take too long before we win these. And I'm out here just casing everything, and I love it. Alright. I'm dead. I'm not. Kings never die. This is also the last day of the boys here. You know, if you've watched the last YouTube video, you have seen Sebastian, Fallen, you have seen Polish on the frame. Even on the keyboard, running it down, maxing the wrong ability and all that shit. And it's the last day here today. They're both flying back. After the stream, we are gonna go for some drinks and some good vibes. And I appreciate their presence. And it was a good time while they were here. After that, I'm gonna be solo, bolo, alone. No girlfriend, no friends, no nothing. I'm gonna be alone, man. All alone. We're A-wing, we're A-wing. Don't worry, boys. Don't worry, boys. The AoE damage, it's in there. It's the Stylendo. It might not seem like much, but there was some AoE there. There was some AoE there. That was good enough. GG. We kill a little block. We create the 4v5. We AoE the fight. And we get the little block. We create the 4v from AoE there. That was good enough. GG. We kill a little block. We create the 4v5. We AoE the fight. And we get the diamond 1. I'm moving first, but the problem is Kai'Sa's super far. I don't know who wins this. Let's see. This looks bad for Fiddle, honestly. I think we just lose this. Okay, let's go! Chat! That was good. That was good. I got 2 assists. Kai'Sa's really fed. What's important is my mid laner got nothing. To be honest, I could have actually backed here. It would have been a pretty good play because, as you can see, he was pushing back to me. So she would have actually lost way more XP if I just backed. Well, Zoe just gets a free ghost, runs like a fucking Formula 1 race. I don't want to let her pick the Ignite, but I have to. Zoe Gaming, man. I'm hitting 6 here, but the problem is they're there. It's still a free kill, because she's just running it down. Alright, baby. She sees me level 6. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. You're playing in La La Land. La La Land, Disneyland. I'll put a deep ward here. That hits me, bro. Really. I didn't juke it. Don't matter, though. We're hitting every Qs, huh? You see me, chat? The precision level is over 9,000. It's crazy. This might be bad.
Keep the good content up. I love to rock you. Flex biceps. Flex biceps.
Tough, because she has Ignite. She ignites me. I'm dead, because Ignite plus W. Too fast, too furious, too stylish. Come here, come here. Really? Look how she's gonna die here. I should have TP'd in the backwards here. Wrong spot to TP. I realized, I think I'm in the Masters MMR, like, and I realized the way they play is once they lose, they will not, like, try to get carried. Like, you know, in NA... What are you doing, bro? Oh, wow, he's so fast, I can actually get him. Like, they're not gonna try to get carried and just be like, yeah, maybe my team carries, you know what I mean? No, no, no. And then what, Maokai? And then what? And then you're dead. Yep. The low masters EOS, once they do bad, instead of trying to get carried, they're gonna fucking take every fight and they run it down. They don't care. They actually don't care. Like, they'll still try to kill you. They'll still try to 1v1 you. And I love it, because it just makes it easier. It makes it easier to win, right? Fuck me, bro. I can't move! Oh, dude, Rail trolled me, man. I mean, it's not her fault, but... I went to triple Q the Tristana for free, and she pushed the Tristana away from the Qs. Like, at least Tristana would have died instantly, and I would have got perma CC'd, but they wouldn't have killed. Yo, 4 seconds CC, bro. Relax! Boom, bam, beam. Just play the game, enjoy the content. Can I kill this guy? He doesn't really have armor. It is 1v1able, I think. Where's my beer, bro? Tristana, you're gonna die. They stole the Baron from us, eh? Holy shit, what happened here? We're getting shit on. This is the furthest ward I can find, but it's tough ward. I might get killed for this. Yeah, I do get killed for this. I'm pretty sure we do get that before they get into us. That's bad. Kai'Sa's dead. Sign is ending. I don't have energy to kill this. Sign ending. It's not. Oh, is that a blue buff for me? Ooh, this is not gonna be good for them, bro. So blue buff for me. This is exactly what I needed in my life. Poke Fiesta incoming. Up. Up. I'm gonna play it slow. I don't need to rush. Up. 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 Get him out of there. Finally, dude. Jesus Christ. 40-minute game. This should have been a 15 FF. Oof. That was hard, dude. That was fucking hard. It's going pretty good. We're nearly, let me see my win rate on Zed, baby. Oh, yeah. It's gone sexual. 92% win rate. Dog shit. Did you just say it's dog shit? 100% win rate. I lost one game, bro. What do you mean dog shit?
There you go, buddy. Too much. I'm getting called the EU Red Mercy.
It's true, I see. I can actually see some resemblance, bro.
Don't ever ask me to sit there ever again.
Why, bro? No, now that they say it, it's kind of true.
Clown every single time.
It's not clown. Red Mercy looks good.
Wait, what fucking world do I look like Red Mercy?
Yo, you actually look like
Yeah, you actually kind of do. Hold up.
You know what? Yes.
Let me find
Bro, look at him. He looks depressed all the time.
I mean, no, see, you don't see the resemblance?
Like, maybe like
You're
the
more
jawline.
narrow in the...
Maybe the jawline, but
Yeah, like this is accurate.
looks like you when you had your makeup on.
Okay,
Bro.
maybe not. I was cuter.
You want a shot?
Huh? Sure, why not? Cheers, shot. Drinking again? It's just because we're gonna go out tonight, so we're starting the drink. Am I 0 LP, chat? Please tell me I'm not. Because we're fucking demoting this game. Big L right here. -6 LP. Alright, we have to win the next one. This is my LG. How are you so chill? Does this happen a lot on the strip so far? Bro, it's been 10 years of League of Legends, man, okay? At some point, you gotta understand it is what it is.
Wait, what the hell is that team? Can anyone explain to me what's the team comp? It's gonna be one of ADCs, right? This Elo is confusing. It's Twitch mid. I mean, it might be rough early, but should be fine later on. Alright. It's Twitch mid with Pale of Blades. Whatever that is.
Alrighty. We're getting camped. He knows who I am. I'm guessing he's gonna start stealth with Hellblades. Ugh, this is gonna be a toxic level 1. He's gonna wait for me to throw an ability and then engage. Yeah. Oh, yeah, stealth again? Really? It's up every day or what? Oh my god, and he's level 2. Well, I can stay again. He ulted though, right, Sha? Well, at least my team is winning. I mean, they probably carry me, but this is so annoying, bro. Fuck you, Twitch! Fuck you! Oh. That's a flash. You like that, chat? You like these cues? Now the rotation sensation. Oh, dude, what are you doing here, man? Fuck off me, you fucking tank. Man, I'm probably dead, am I? So stupid. What happened? Where's Tamkench? I do everything, by the way, and they get pentakills. I don't complain. At the end of the day, we get the same amount of LP, right? Are that for the stacks? We want our stacks. Tamkench, positioning.
Slightly Sierra God. Velcos is a beta bitch
Just
champ.
play it safe like that, chat. My positioning right now is so good. Should be at Drake right now, but whatever. Samira is just killing everything, bro. Nice. That's a very boring laning phase and shit, but we won, bro. Two pentakills. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, games. What am I playing? Well, no demotion at least. That's the good news. 2 days in the almost master. Yeah, pretty much. We'll get there. We basically went back to the elo we finished. We picked up. Should take a lot longer, but this season is easier, so that's that. Winner of the comment of the day. Ooh, that's an AoE. That's an AoE. We love it. Ah, wrong decision. Wrong decision.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to talk about Biden and McCarthy and political math and political shows. And we're going to talk about unintended effects and results. And we're going to talk about a hard truth that the Republican Party is eventually going to have to face. Okay. So if you have no idea what's going on, McCarthy is floating the idea of a Biden impeachment inquiry. For what specifically? Well, we don't really know. It's just this general tone of corruption type thing. Okay, let's start with this. Unless they have concrete evidence, something real, something tangible, that nobody knows about, this is a political show. Okay? Now, I'm willing to entertain the idea that maybe they actually have something hidden away and they've managed to keep it a secret and all of that. Sure, it's possible. I don't think it's incredibly likely, but if that's the case, well, then present it. Okay? But absent that, it's a political show and nothing more. Now, why are they doing it? To energize their base. That's really the reason. A base that, frankly, they're already as energized as they are going to be. What are the unintended consequences of this? Because the real goal for something like this, if you're going to do it for political reasons, should be to convince independents that Biden is bad. That should be the goal. The problem is, without a strong case, they're going to have a really hard time doing that without actual concrete evidence. And it's going to be even harder given the fact that many of them voted against impeachment on a much stronger case for a different president. That's going to be an issue with the independents, which are the people they should, in theory, be trying to win over. The Republican Party cannot win with Republican votes alone. It's that simple. Convincing the independents is going to be hard if you voted against impeaching on a stronger case, and especially if there are already a bunch of quotes out there about picking someone to impeach. I'm saying that because there are quotes out there about that. They toyed with a bunch of different political appointees of Biden, and now they've just said, okay, well, we're just going to go after Biden. Okay. Again, the independents, they're going to see through that. They're going to know it's a show. They didn't learn anything from 2020 or 2022, which is the independents don't actually respond well to the shows. That's why Trump lost. That's a huge part of it. It's also why the Republican Party underperformed during the midterms. The social media engagement is good for social media engagement. It doesn't convert to wins. So they have all of these issues with gaining independent voters. Without a strong case, it's a show, and it looks like a show, and it's a joke. They don't win those voters with that. Then you have to look at the fact that they have a razor-thin majority. A very, very slim majority. And even if they get the impeachment vote, the show may cause Republicans in the House that are vulnerable to lose their seats. They have to really weigh whether or not to vote in favor of the impeachment. Because if they vote for it after it's shown to be a show, they may lose their seat. That happens enough, they lose their majority. It's not really a great political move for the House. For the Republicans in the House, this isn't really a great move. It doesn't help win the presidency. It doesn't help win seats in their own chamber. It's just all bad. But it does get them social media engagement, which many of them are still reading as votes. Then, let's say they get it. They get the impeachment. What happens? Unless it is an incredibly strong case, which again, I doubt, having looked into most of these allegations, it's doomed in the Senate. It is doomed. Without concrete evidence, he doesn't get convicted. Again, the senators have voted against convicting on impeachment on much, much stronger cases. And it's just not there. The votes aren't there. In fact, I'm willing to bet there are enough partisan Democrats to block a Biden impeachment even with decent evidence. So it doesn't go anywhere. They'll look at it as payback for not convicting Trump on his impeachments. And then you have the other part of this, the Republicans in the Senate. They are not going to be happy about this hot potato being thrown at them from Republicans in the House. Republicans in the Senate have this figured out. They understand what happened in the midterms. They've got it. They are focusing on candidate quality, remember? They're trying to get away from the wild rhetoric. They're trying to recenter. And when I say that, understand, I mean come back to the center of the Republican Party, not actually like become centrists. The Republican Party is always going to be right-wing. they're going to try to move to a situation where they are seen as less inflammatory, less aligned with the losing Trump brand, because the Trump brand falls flat outside of Republican circles. They understand this, and there's the GOP in the House just say, hey, this is like totally political divisive thing that we kind of made up. Here, now you have to vote on it. And it puts them in a situation where they may have to vote along party lines to appease some of their primary voters, or they have to vote that way to maintain energy among their base, but they lose on independence. It puts the Senate in a really, really bad position, which again causes yet another fracture in the Republican Party. And then you have the real reason they're trying to do it. They need something to distract from Trump's legal issues. Unless they have some super secret evidence that nobody's allowed to see, that they haven't brought out, it's a show. And the goal is to try to distract from Trump. The hard truth that the Republican Party has to face is that nothing is going to distract from Trump's legal issues. It doesn't exist. Not the border, not inflation, not whatever they want to dream up as an outrage. Not Barbie. It's just not going to work. The former President of the United States has been indicted more than once, and the expectation is that more than one is still on the way. You wanted a president that was going to make history. Well, you got it. Nothing's going to distract from that. Aligning and attempting to distract from that just continues to hurt the Republican Party. Trump has damaged the Republican Party far more than a lot of people are willing to admit. And that damage is going to be long-lasting. And the longer Republicans cling to those ever-shrinking coattails, the more it's going to damage the Republican Party. It's a show, and I feel like most people are going to see it for a show. The committee hearings that they have put on, they're not getting the traction. Now, the way they're viewing it is, well, it's because it's not big enough. We need something bigger. Because nobody's paying attention to our committee hearings except for our base, who really don't care. They're going to vote R no matter what. It's not winning over those independents, so we need something bigger. What they're missing is the reason nobody cares about their committees is because they know it's a show. So engaging in yet another show at higher stakes it just continues to push independents away. They're tired of the circus. This will be seen as an attempt by the House to defend Trump and distract from Trump. There's no other way it can be seen. It's not going to play well. But I don't think it matters me saying this. I think they're probably going to try anyway. The only people I think could stop it is Mitch McConnell. I think he might be able to explain that this isn't a joke, and that if you send it to the Senate as a joke, we will treat it as a joke. Because their only out will be to call Republicans on what they did. Otherwise, they end up in the same situation where they're pushing away independence that they need. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
Boring. Är det FF så?
When I started my Milankovitch Cycles video with a reference to Game of Thrones, I didn't realize exactly how apt my analogy was. In that TV show, the armies of the Night King in the north are trapped behind a giant wall. Just like in the TV show, it turns out that on Earth there exists a powerful, icy force to the north that is seeking to overthrow its bounds and rush southward. That powerful winter is also kept at bay by a mighty wall, one that allows the nations to the south to enjoy relatively tranquil conditions. And just like in the TV show, that wall eventually gets breached in a wave of ice that sweeps down and threatens the lives of all those in its way. You might not recognize what I'm talking about. Where is this wall? And what is the icy winter it protects us from? The answer to the first question is a name that I find particularly cool: the Polar Night Jet. And it turns out that the polar vortex it protects us from is a biting chill, not to be underestimated. What is the polar vortex, and how does the Polar Night Jet protect us from it? I'm Alex McColgan, and you're watching Astrum, and today we'll learn more about this climate-shattering phenomenon, and what happens whenever the Polar Night Jet breaks down and the polar vortex is unleashed. There are actually two polar vortexes, one at each pole of the planet. And even there, each vortex comes in two parts: a tropospheric polar vortex, spinning in the section of the atmosphere known as the troposphere, from ground level up to about 10 to 15 kilometers. This is where 75% of the total mass of the atmosphere resides. Above that lies the stratospheric polar vortex, a technically separate weather phenomenon that has its own size, seasonal cycle, and influence on the global climate. Each of these massive cyclones sits over the pole, spinning with the planet's rotation, with wind speeds that can reach up to 240 kilometers per hour. Why do these winds happen? The first piece of the puzzle is temperature difference. At locations like the equator where sunlight is most concentrated, the air is warmed and starts to rise. As it does so, it creates an area of low pressure beneath it that draws air into it from its surroundings like a giant vacuum cleaner. Meanwhile, at places like the poles where it's much colder, air contracts and falls, creating zones of high pressure where air molecules want to spread out like a crowd of school children being released into an open field. So, naturally, with these two forces at play, there is a tendency for air to rush from the poles towards the equator. Freezing cold winds are constantly trying to escape from the north and south poles. This model is a little simplified though, as wind does not travel in a continuous line towards the equator. Instead, because every equator cools and falls much sooner than the pole, around latitude 30 degrees, air from the poles warms and rises much sooner than the equator. At latitude 60 degrees, there are 3 cells of air on each hemisphere that air circulates in. The polar cells, the air masses above the poles, and the Hadley cells, the air masses above the equator, both cycle in the temperature-driven way I described. However, the middle cell, known as the Ferrel cell, is not temperature-driven. Like a gear, it is dragged by the rotation of the other 2 cells and rotates opposite to their motion. In terms of our northern polar vortex, this means that once the air from the pole heads south, it's met by warmer wind traveling in the opposite direction. And when 2 air fronts of different temperatures meet, they clash rather than mix. So the polar vortex is trapped, bounded, clashing against winds coming in from all sides. There's more at play here though. If this was on its own, the cold air from the north would just slide underneath the warm air from the south, not really being trapped at all. There is a second force at play that redirects those winds, spinning them into a vortex that keeps them circling the poles rather than coming down towards the equator. Where does this spin come from? It's due to something known as the Coriolis force. In a simple, flat world, cold wind from the poles would travel towards the equator, while warm wind from the equator would float over it towards the poles. But the world isn't a simple flat sheet. It's a rotating sphere. You are traveling right now at somewhere between 0 kilometers per hour, if you're at the pole and decided to watch an Astrum video while you're there, and 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator, from the west to the east. You might not notice this fact because everything next to you is, on average, traveling at the same speed in the same direction. But what happens if you were to travel from the equator to the pole? Conservation of momentum states that you would still be traveling eastward at the same speed as previously, but suddenly the Earth beneath you is not traveling quite so fast. Remember, at the pole you'd have 0 eastward speed, but would simply be rotated slowly. If, on the other hand, you keep all your eastward momentum from the equator and travel towards the pole, suddenly it will appear, compared to everything else, like you are traveling east really fast. In practice, this means that air that travels up towards a pole from the equator, whether towards the North Pole or the South, will not go straight up, but over large distances will start to curve towards the east. This rapidly eastward traveling air is why you get jet streams. There are at least 4 of these, straddling the gaps between the Hadley cells, the Ferrel cells, and the polar cells. The subtropical jet stream lies between the first 2 and is a little weaker, but the jet streams we are interested in are the polar jet streams, wringing the frigid air off that develops in the north and south poles. These ribbons of air circle the globe in an almost continuous path, a little underneath the boundary between the troposphere and the stratosphere. They are only a few kilometers deep, but can be hundreds of kilometers wide, and in their hearts, the wind can travel at 400 kilometers per hour. As a reminder, over 120 kilometers per hour is getting into strength level of hurricanes. The jet stream around the South Pole is fairly stable. Its powerful winds overrule the polar winds trying to leave the polar air mass, whipping them along with it and dragging the entire polar cell into a massive Antarctica-spanning vortex. At this point, a keen-eyed observer might have noticed a flaw in this model. If conservation of momentum means that air going from the equator towards the pole veers towards the east, why is it that air traveling from the pole towards the equator doesn't do the exact opposite? It has zero momentum, moving to zones that have considerably more momentum. Comparatively, it should be quickly left behind, appearing to start spinning to the west. This is true, but cold winds have much more friction to contend with as it starts to slide underneath the warm front and then drags along the ground. This seems to slow it down enough that the countervailing jet stream overrules it. It's important to note this tension at play though, as it becomes much more important in the polar night jet. The polar night jet is the jet stream that bounds the vortex at the North Pole. Specifically, it bounds the stratospheric polar vortex, keeping it in check during the coldest part of the year for the North, the polar night. Here, during the winter months, the sun is absent from the sky entirely, creating even more freezing temperatures. Interestingly, this colder climate creates a deeper pressure difference between the air around the pole and the air further south, which actually strengthens the force that creates the polar night jet, meaning that during the coldest part of the year, this freezing air is usually well contained. However, this does not always hold true. There are things that can disrupt a jet stream. There are certain zones, such as the boundary between sea and land, or the presence of a large mountain, that can cause disruption to wind. Coastal environments create their own winds that can suck in jet streams, while mountains force an air current to move around it. Even other weather phenomena, such as El Nino, which you might recognize from one of my recent videos, can have an
Real
impact.
inflation is insane in 2023. Is that bad? Guys, is inflation bad?
$100,000 is the amount of money that Americans in 2023 are living paycheck to paycheck on, with zero. And this is all because as recently as the 1980s.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you had $100,000 and you're living paycheck to paycheck, maybe this is like a bad take, but I think you need to budget better. I think you're probably spending your money on things that are unnecessary and stupid. Now, I'm not talking about New York or San Francisco, right? But most people don't live in New York or San Francisco. Those are two cities in the whole country. So, this is outrageous. That 100K is supposed to be seen as getting by paycheck to paycheck. I am totally fine acknowledging that in very, very high cost of living places, this is reasonable. But this is vastly below the norm, and I guess we can look at it. Average cost of living per city in USA. So this is the average cost of living right here, and obviously we could go somewhere else, but this is just it. So outside of the top 10 most expensive cities, right here, every single one of these is below not only 100 but also 90,000. You have 2 kids and a wife, that doesn't work. I think that, didn't he say single? I'm pretty sure he said single.
80s, the Americans in 2023 are $100,000 is the amount of money that Americans in 2023 are living paycheck to paycheck on, with zero kids. And this is all.
Yeah, there you go, 0 kids. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that I was right about that. Yeah, so it was, yeah, without kids. And so, yeah, I just, I see this kind of stuff, and I think it's kind of outrageous. You know, cost of living, this is like the average, I guess. You know, is I guess maybe $5,000 a month, which is like, you know, 100 grand a year is like 8,000. I can't see somebody who is unable to make it by with $100,000 a year. I mean, as I said, I think that like I have no problem talking about how like the middle class is evaporating, and you know, wealth inequality is at the worst state that it's ever been, and all of this kind of stuff. But don't let that distract you from the fact that there are individual people that make bad financial decisions. And I don't think that every bad financial decision a person makes is because of billionaires. Sometimes it's just because they make bad financial decisions. That's it. It's worse than a Great Depression. It's worse than ever. Here we go.
Because as recently as the 1980s, the median salary in the United States was $21,000. And that would be brought in by a single earner. And at that same time, a 4-year degree would set you back 10 grand. And at that same time, the median price of a home in the United States was only $47,000. And that means that boomers had the option to work summers.
My
to pay for
dad bought
college
the
as
house
they-
that I'm in now for like 40 grand or something like that back in the day. It might have even been less than that. It was cheap as fuck.
They were going.
Now
They
it's
could
like half a
graduate without
mil.
any debt, and then they could just work 5 to 6 months of their real job as an adult to come up with 20% down payment required to buy a home. 10 grand is all they needed to do that. But we flash forward 40
Yeah.
years, and thanks to inflation and appreciation, those homes are now worth $500,000.
Ah, this guy lives in Austin. I see. What a very convenient comparison. Holy shit. Yeah, there you go. It's everywhere, bro. I don't think it's everywhere. I mean, there's a few places that it's like this, but like not everywhere.
Almost impossible for younger generations to buy them because in 2023 the median annual income for a single earner is $70,000. We've essentially doubled wages. But in that same time, a 4-year college degree has multiplied by 10x. You're looking at spending a full 100 grand on a 4-year college degree for out-of-state tuition. On top
Well,
of that,
I think the problem really is that people get saddled with student loans that have interest on them, and so you basically it's pretty much it's financial grooming is what it really is, because you have kids that are brought up. How many of you guys, whenever you were in middle school and high school, you were hearing all the time, if you don't go to college, you're gonna be a fucking loser? And even if you weren't hearing it directly, it was implied, wasn't it? It was definitely implied. Yeah, go to college, you'll never make it. Yeah, it sure was. So guess what? You grow up in a society, you grow up in a place where everything that you do is leading towards college. And if you're not going toward, like, why do people do extracurricular activities in high school? Most of the people that I knew that did it didn't do it because they even liked the activity. They didn't do it for any other reason other than to put it on their college resume or their college, fucking application or something like that. Nobody gave a shit about being part of the journalism club. Nobody cares about this shit. They just want to have this so they can use it to get into like the UT or Baylor or some other place here, right? They don't give a fuck. And so the point is that then you have these kids that feel like, well, I need to take out this Faustian pact with the government, and that will never go away. It will be there for my whole life. I can never remove it from bankruptcy like every single other type of debt, basically. But I need to do this because if I don't do this, I'm going to be a loser for the rest of my life. And that's really what it is. So big fucking surprise. Like I have a friend Alec, right? You guys heard about Alec many times. I've known him ever since middle school. Well, he had close to $100,000 in student debt. A lot of reasons for that. It's complicated. I'm not going to get into it. Either way, now Alec is doing great. He's making 6 figures, and his job is, last time I checked, his job is he's an engineer, and he turns big rocks into little rocks. And that's his job. That's what he does. And he is still paying that shit off, and he's gonna probably be and he's 32, 33. No, he's 33. He's 33 fucking years old. He's still paying the shit off that he graduated for like 10 years ago. So like you're stuck in this indentured servitude Faustian pact of student loan debt that people have for their whole life. And then some people just embrace the fucking the entropy of it, and they just say to themselves, I'm just gonna die with this debt, and I'm gonna live with my parents until they die, and then I'm gonna inherit their house, and I'm just never gonna pay this off. I'm never gonna be successful. It is what it is. For real. It's usury. Yes, it is. It's crazy. Took me 8 years to pay my loans off. It's nuts, man. It's very, very, very shitty. Best thing husband did was not go to college. I went to college. I did. And obviously I didn't fucking finish, right? Didn't finish getting, like, I have a college degree, but I wanted to get like an advanced degree at a business school, and for computer information systems I was doing that, and then my YouTube started doing well, and I was like, I'm already making $1,500 a month off of YouTube. What the fuck am I doing here? I'm just going to invest more time into YouTube and do that all the time. And so then I quit school. But anyway, this is like maybe 6 months after I started YouTube. But yeah, no, I went to college myself. 15K? No, 1,500. I didn't need a lot of money, okay? Like, I still spent $1,500 a month, basically. The problem is, like, for no money, from that 100K goes to useful stuff. The college basketball coach needs a $5 million salary. Well, I don't really want to talk, like, I don't know, I'm not an expert in the financials of fucking, like, some school, like, oh, I'm not an accountant for a college. I don't understand why this is a problem. All I'm saying is that the fact that you can't get these loans removed and these people are just saddled with like a massive amount of money that they have to pay is a big reason why people, it's harder for them to get on their feet. It's because they're stuck into indentured servitude and there's no way out except for death. Isn't that cute?
With homes being $500,000 to start, to get a degree and a home today, you'd have to live in your parents' basement rent-free and work your ass off for 3 straight years just to pay off your college debt, have a down payment for your home, all without any dependents or a partner, and that's if you didn't put a single penny towards things like food, gas, insurance, healthcare, your car payment, or your stupid fur babies that you think are your actual children.
Yeah, that's definitely definitely a thing. And also, like, I mean, people deserve to have entertainment, right? I mean, it's not like you shouldn't spend any money on entertainment. Like, I think entertainment budget for a person, the thing is, your entertainment budget can be 80% of your budget. But if you're having money problems, that's the first thing that needs to go. So I'm not going to criticize somebody for spending all their money on entertainment, but if they're having money problems and complaining about it, I'm going to be like, yeah, I wonder what it is.
Yes, I love you too, but if times get hard, I know you're going to make a delicious, delicious soup.
Ooh. Well, he didn't like that.
And all of this has happened because of inflation, which has reduced the value of our dollars over 95% in the last 100 years.
I don't think that this is a full picture because it's not just inflation. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll bring another chart up. So this is a pretty common chart. I think a lot of people are used to seeing this. So this is a chart that shows productivity versus wages. And as you can see, you know, productivity goes up. Worker production goes up, wages, you see how the line stops going up, and like you remember, like this guy is using 1980 as a frame of reference of whenever it was good, which is like, this is probably like 1970ish, right? But you know, big surprise, about the same time that 1980 happened, can't see, sorry, let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. So yeah, if you look at these charts, I mean, there's a million of these, right? There's this real producer wage, labor productivity. I mean, fuck, how many of these are there here? And you can just look this up and you know, unironically educate yourself, you know, on your own time. But the point is that people do more work, they produce more resources and goods, and they get paid comparatively less money because of inflation. So let's go ahead and look at here. Here's another thing that we'll look at here. So we have, this is the minimum wage. I'm just using Texas as a reference here. Is that the minimum wage has been, you know, it used to be like, let's see 1980, right? This is where he's using it. So it's like probably $3.30, something like that, a little bit over $3. And then now, even though money has more than doubled, the wages are, you know, probably like more than quadrupled at this point, especially with cost of living and everything. The wages have only slightly doubled. So yeah, like even now, minimum wage in Texas is less than $8. So yeah, it's really bad. It's fucking brutal. Like, there's a reason why people are like rioting, and there's like anti-work is so popular, and people love the idea of socialism. Like, no matter how you feel about like socialism or, you know, anti-work people or anything like that, whenever you see these charts, they paint a picture that's pretty understandable, doesn't it? Like, I think it's pretty understandable. Like, even if you disagree with their conclusion, you can see how they got here. You can see why they're unhappy.
Because back then, this stack of $100,000 would have actually had purchasing power of $1.8 million today. Which means by saving your money in today's environment, you're actually losing. And the reason this has happened is because our government prints money to subsidize the pharmaceutical industrial complex, the military industrial complex, and other big corporate organizations and entities. They get subsidized by taxpayer dollars that are printed into existence, and the value of the money that's being held and saved by the American people just gets inflated away. And those giant corporations use the money to pay their CEOs big bonuses and figure out ways how to deliver less value and charge even more money. And this has been going on for a few decades, and it's completely carved out the middle class in the West. And the Western world is at its breaking point. Right now in the United States, gas on average is around $4 a gallon.
How much is gas where you guys are at? It's like I mean, for me, I think it's around like $3 to $4, something like that. Yeah, the trillions of dollars they can't account for. I mean, look, I mean, the thing is that people are never going to hold the government accountable because people don't understand math. The education system has done a very good job making sure that people have no working knowledge of math beyond addition and subtraction. Most people don't even know how to multiply numbers. Do you remember whenever I did Schooled, and then most people couldn't do 8 times 25? You know, like 60 times 12? That's terrifying. And this is just basic arithmetic. Too reliant on calculators? Well, it's not that. The thing is that if you understand math theory, and I would say that my understanding on math theory is a 2, meanwhile these other people are like a 1, okay? Like, I'm not a fucking mathematician, all right? I don't get it that well either. I've taken like maybe, like, I don't know, like 10 classes, college level classes in math. It's not a degree, like, and 2 or 3 of these were accounting, which is basically just a different type of arithmetic. But that's it. Yeah, math is hard. But the thing is that math is hard, but they don't teach people math. That's the issue.
Breakfast for 4 at McDonald's, which used to be an affordable option, costs as much as a weekly budget for a week's worth of food for a typical American home. But things are even crazier than what we see on the surface.
Here's a question, right? Do you think that your high school education prepared you mathematically for life? No? Okay. But keep in mind also, we have a global audience here. So, like, you know, I'm talking about issues that are like innate to like the U.S. And also keep in mind too that somebody could have gone to a high school that's just like a, you know, this is like a top 10% high school, right? Where like the average income of a family there is like 80 grand plus. So like the schools there are better. In general, if you are poor, you get a bad education, and you know, it's just everything is worse, and no fights too. Yeah, it depends, right? But sure. And if you're not, then it's different. Mine was top 10. Yeah, it's totally different. I went to public US. It was more than fine. Okay, well, I'm glad that it was different for you, right? But I think for a lot of people, they don't really understand. Like, for example, like if it was up to me, I would replace Algebra 2 with statistics. Like, I see people arguing statistics all the time with like COVID vaccines and immigration and stuff like that. It's insane. It's actually so fucking sad. Real world shit, yeah. Like, how many of you guys have ever used something that you used, like, unless you have like a specialized STEM field degree or something like that, how many of you ever used like, you know, dividing fractions or something like that after high school? Something you learned in Algebra 2. Substitution. Get the fuck out of here. It's a waste of time.
Even though things cost more today, you get way less for your money. And here is an example. This Hot Wheel costs $1.25. If you go buy one right now, you'll see similar prices.
So just the price of toys in general have gotten crazy.
Really?
$6.99 for this car.
No way, bro, what? No. Dude, I gotta go to, wait, where is this, no way. I remember my mom would buy these for me for $1.
Car.
Oh, fuck, it's too, I want to see, like, maybe he just got the most expensive one or something like that. Hot Wheels are hot collectible, dude. $6 or $7. That's no way, dude.
Remember when you got like a big toy for like $10? Look at this. But in the 80s, that same car only cost 94 cents.
Yeah.
This price difference represents
Yeah, I remember that.
a 25% increase in price over 40 years. You might not think that that's too bad, but there's something going on that you're not aware of. The materials going into today's Hot Wheels cars are not even comparable to what they used to be made out of. The 80s Hot Wheels cars are made out of die-cast metal.
I know that because me and my friend Lowell, we used to get out in the front yard, and the cars that we didn't like, we would smash them with a hammer. And like there were the plastic ones that would just like bing, and then the other ones we would fuck. Why? Because it's fun. And so yeah, blow them up. Yeah, well you couldn't do that. Yeah, we would just smash them with a hammer. Yeah, it was just fucking fun. And so yeah, the metal ones, I remember we'd really have to work at those.
Days use a little bit of metal and mostly plastic. This is much higher quality. It's built
Oh
to
my
last.
God.
It feels heavier. It's more enjoyable of an experience to play with if you're into that sort of thing. And this is not. This is going to break much sooner than this will. Now you can still buy these, the fully die-cast metal Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah,
at
what
the
are they, like
store. But if you want
$12?
to buy them like they used to be made, that car is going to cost you $2.97, which is an increase of 215% in just 40 years.
Jesus.
Wages have not kept up with that. And in 2023, with the middle class at its breaking point, corporations are pushing harder to increase prices while driving down the value that they're actually delivering for the money they're asking you to give them for their product. This is called shrinkflation, and that's being layered on top of...
Oh, this is so fucking true, man. It's like what I said about Totino's Pizzas. They try to pull this fucking shit. They make it a square. You see that shit? You see that fucking shit right there? Get ready. Look at that. Look at that. Fills the whole fucking plate. That's an old one right there. We're getting fucked. And it was $1.
The actual inflation caused by economic policies by our government. Governments all over the world, in fact, are printing money like it's their only pleasure. And this is why your money isn't going as far as it used to, which is why...
True. True, true, true. No, saying pizza's like sex, it's good even when it's bad. That's true, yeah. I mean, it's good. Instagram millionaire complains about cost of living. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, it's not a big deal for me. I just buy the more expensive one. Who cares? But, like, the difference is that, like, I'm not stupid. Like, it doesn't take a fucking genius to look at the math of how much money people make and then see how much money they have to spend and be like, I don't think that's very good. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a wizard to know this. Boomers lived the dream and then pulled the ladder up after themselves and left the rest of us to drown. There are still people that are successful and, like, I mean, listen. There are a lot of advantages and opportunities you have now. And it's like, this obviously sucks. It's a rigged system. It's definitely bad. But you've got to... Fuck. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You just going to die? Okay, cool. All right. Well, I mean, what else is there? Was it intentional? They put in place programs and actions they thought were good and ended up having horrible repercussions. I mean, didn't Dwight D. Eisenhower, the guy that, you know, was influential in winning World War II, didn't he talk about the military-industrial complex, even invent the term? So yeah, I don't think this is necessarily boomers with good intentions. People saw exactly what was wrong with this, even before boomers were around. Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that. Let's see here. 100K for university is crazy. In Italy, the most expensive university doesn't even come close to that. Plus, most families can ask for a reduction and even a complete removal of taxes. Yeah, I don't know what it's like over in Europe. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe they have different problems, same problems. I have no idea. But over here, yeah, it costs a lot of money. It's insane. I've seen spend 100K a year. Some people spend 100K. I think that the average tuition for a college, like if you're living at the college, I think it's probably like $30,000 to probably like $25,000 to $40,000 a year. And then if you're not living at the college, it's probably $15,000 to $30,000 a year. Like I'm extrapolating from what it was whenever I was in college. So like I could be wrong. And this is like I'm not including like super cheap colleges or super expensive ones. I'm just saying like in like in the middle, right? Somewhere around there. Am I right about that? Yeah, I don't know. It's like $35K a year now, maybe 40. Okay. Even community college is getting expensive. Okay, yeah, all right, cool. How much is community college? How much is a class for community college now? Yeah, how much is a class? Like, let's say you want to do English 1. It's $250. Yeah, I remember it's like $200 whenever I went there. $2K a semester. Yeah, I mean that's still like almost double. If it's 2,000, 4 classes, 1,700 for nursing. Holy shit. Yeah, that's way more. You don't need English 101 if you had decent grades in high school. That's actually not true. I understand what you're saying, and yes, you could maybe test out of it, but there are some schools that don't offer being able to test out of it, and also the only other way that you could get credit for it was if you took AP English in high school. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that that's like, and also English is just the first example. Like I can think of 10 other ones, right? That's AP English. Yeah. AP English and pass the AP test. Yeah, I know, I did it. And so I was able to skip a few classes myself. Australian University is $8K a year. Holy shit. Part of the reason why BRICS countries wanting to create their own currency, move away from the dollar is and will become useless. Well, I'm not sure. I don't really... Like at that level, like I just have no control over that. I don't understand a lot of that financial stuff, so I don't really want to talk about it a lot. Depression 2.0 is going to be a banger. I mean, I feel like people are kind of already in it. Like I'll be real. I think that there's a lot of people that are already in. I mean, obviously it's nothing like the Great Depression, but there's a lot of people that are already in the depression, man. It's bad.
An ally has been slain.
Promising garden. Take careful steps.
Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
Things aren't always.
turret has been destroyed. Inhibitor has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has disconnected.
Leute, endlich. Boom.
Was your name in the credits for Hunger Games? I actually never checked. Wait. Was it? It should be, actually. I should be in, like, I should be credited as District 8 Hospital Helper. Because initially I did have lines, which means I should be... Well, maybe I'm not here because I didn't make Final Cut. I'd be somewhere here, right? D8, that's District 8. Another patient. Female patient, that wouldn't be me. Male patient, could have been me. Old woman, probably not me. Well, we've got a bit of a controversy on our hands here. Not only am I not here, but the kid that actually did make the Final Cut I don't think is here. The kid who said, are you here to fight? Are you here to fight with us, Katniss? And then he does the thing. His name's not here, I don't think. Unless he's listed as something else. Keep looking. Well, no, this is where we'd be. Because this is District 8. Before we get blown up. What's the criteria for being listed here, then? I guess I can't be shocked that I'm not here, since none of my shit's in the Final Cut except for my arm. But, I mean, that kid had a couple lines. So what's the criteria? You're not going to be 10 names down from Stanley. Why? They are. Fucking District 8, another patient? I would be here too. I'd be District 8 hospital helper or something.
Really
You appear on the IMDb.
My leg, it's a hole in my leg.
If you don't mind, I might be able to learn something from it.
Alright. This is basically dead flesh. Like it starts to stink like dead flesh. Like every single time like I'm around someone, they start to smell it. They
Ooh, I don't know if I can be this close. Ooh, Julian, you're only 19, man. No, I'm good. Oh,
yeah.
Julie.
Yeah. It's bad.
You need to get to the hospital, man.
It's basically getting into my bones.
You need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital.
It hurts when I touch it, so I try my best to cover it. And like I said, in the hospital, rehab, first I need to go through those things from the... you mind if I show you, you mind if I show you a really bad one in my leg? It's a hole in my leg.
If you don't mind, I might be able to learn something from it.
Alright. This is basically dead flesh. Like it starts to stink like dead flesh. Like every single time like I'm around someone, they start to smell it. They
I don't know if I
nose.
can be this close. Ooh, Julian, you're only 19, man. No, I'm good. Oh,
yeah.
Julie.
Yeah. It's bad.
You need to get to the hospital, man.
It's basically getting into my bones.
You need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital.
It hurts when I touch it, so I try my best to cover it. And like I said, in the hospital, rehab, first I need to go through those things.
Our cat.
You understand?
Our cat.
I'm not even in my yard right now. What am I doing? The gate's open. Hard.
You're unreasonable people. You're holding our cat.
How? I'm not even in there. I want you to explain how.
If you would go in your yard and say, Mercury, go home. Don't come in our yard anymore.
She
they
will
want
not
you
listen.
to...
She's a cat. She doesn't speak English.
Oh, really? This doesn't mean go home?
No.
Huh?
Hand signals don't mean anything. It's a cat, dude.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, we'll have the police department figure it out.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Great idea.
All right. No, so the cat doesn't eat and drink anything over there, right?
No.
Oh, no, never. Right?
right? No, never.
No.
No, never.
Never. Yeah, never.
Yeah, you cat pervert.
Oh my god, you guys are absent.
I've done nothing to bring the cat. I've done nothing to bring the. This dude's lost. This dude, he's lost it. 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 Oh no. On my property.
We're calling the police because you're harboring our cat.
Harboring a cat.
Harboring our
Is
cat.
that a crime? What? It was something else.
Cat pervert.
I'm a cat pervert?
Yeah, cat
What
Ooh. Fuck out of here.
Hey, leave him alone, bro. That's it, bro. Don't do.
Disrespect my daughter again, bitch.
Yeah, you don't disrespect a big daughter.
Disrespect my daughter again. Fuck you talking about?
Yet, what the man doesn't realise is that he's being watched too.
You got him, eh, Whip? Oh, mate, he's so blatantly doing it.
The Chapo's called the police.
Be careful. Come on. Damn, bitch, you fucked up. Give me up. Give me up, man. Bitch, give me up. Cause I'm gonna fuck you up. Come on, wait. Chill. No, she kicked me. Bitch, what you and that got me? I'm gonna put charges on you, bitch. Cool I said be careful, you about to try it. No. I said you kicked me, bitch. I said be careful. Bitch.
That's not sheetrock. That's calcium that accumulates in there. That's about the most I've ever seen. Look at that. And these are saline implants. But that's from chronic inflammation. And that's what happens inside these implants. That's the kind of stuff that happens in there. If they're wet, they just look like a gum, but it's just calcium with moisture in there. Listen carefully. Come closer. That's not sheetrock. That's calcium that accumulates in there. That's about the most I've ever seen. Look at that. And these are saline implants. But that's from chronic inflammation. And that's what happens inside these implants. That's the kind of stuff that happens in there. If they're wet, they just look like a gum, but it's just calcium with moisture in there. Listen carefully.
День почався.
I don't know what to talk about.
The Witcher casting director revealed how she uses her position to push her own political worldview. In an interview, she was asked about projects, confirmed she wanted to work in the field of casting. Okay, I mean, like, this isn't bad at all, like what she said. I think the first time I felt like casting director was when I worked on something, Kill, a team by Dan Krause, which is a story of American soldiers over in Afghanistan. First time I understood that casting wasn't about finding beautiful people who could do the American accent convincingly, but it was about casting could have a real profound impact on the people that were watching it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine to say that. Schluter added, you can affect change in whatever tiny way, because you are in people's homes and they're watching this world that sort of solidified whenever I was a child. She's 5 now, and I thought about how hard it is to be a girl. Okay. I remember thinking I have to help her because she's going to come under attack just like I did, just because she's a girl. Maybe she'll be lucky to get to 9 before somebody calls her a bitch. And it made me so sad that she was going to experience that and I couldn't protect her from that. I mean, I'm sure that, like, women have, like, a lot of problems in life, but I don't think that, like, I think guys have that issue too, right? I mean, how many of you guys got called a bitch before you were 9 too? I mean, I certainly did.
Yeah, you had witnessed sexual assault and bad things happening. You got questioned about it. You started to turn in the people that did it, and due to that, you were able to help investigators get historic convictions of hardcore actual rapes in the military. Not like sexual assault, not like made some programs, but like actual, like, full-on rapes were convicted because of you. However, trying to get something in front of the president is not something I've ever tried to do before.
Where you would have people keep presenting this idea of perfection as opposed to, you know, just saying like, hey, we made a mistake.
Investigation you'll see only on CBS this morning. We traveled to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs to investigate sexual assault in the service academies.
Sexual assault can often be tough to prove.
CBS this morning, for more than a decade, the Pentagon has vowed to eradicate sexual assault from its ranks.
The Air Force Academy is once again facing a slew of sexual assault allegations by current and former cadets.
Athletes at the Air Force Academy have been accused of sexual assault, drug use, and more. And worst of all, this has been going on for over a decade.
An Air Force Major General who's a native of Albuquerque has been charged with sexual assault.
It was my dream school. I thought about it more, and I was like, I love the Air Force. I love the Esprit de Corps, being a part of something. So I was really, really excited when I got my appointment. It's one of the most prestigious places you could ever go to school.
Being harassed so bad by my
Wait, what did you send me?
What happened to him?
Misconduct.
Hey, I didn't send you anything.
No, the guy in chat.
Agent questioned several cadets who were present. A few weeks later, Thomas was called to a meeting with OSI Special Agent Brandon Enos.
When I started talking to him, I started reaching some things on the people.
Short summary. Is that confidential informant? The bad, okay. Investigator?
You would not. Do you give Eric Thomas any credit for what he did, serving as an undercover informant?
I don't want to talk about former Cadet Thomas anymore.
The fact that he helped bring these cases, was that a good thing?
I don't really buy into the fact that he helped bring these cases.
Really? Not at all.
Ooh.
No, I'm finished talking about his accusations. I don't buy any of them.
But even the Air Force Inspector General
Did you add the music?
deserves substantial credit for his role in helping to bring cases of sexual violence to light.
Very positive. His work definitely helped the OSI in their investigation and later on helped obtain...
No, I'm the black guy, LOL.
Court-martial trials.
Is that somebody later on, I didn't realize it at the time, but somebody later on asked me, how did the Academy feel about these convictions? We got, and I say we, Eric Thomas was instrumental in this, and I don't know if we could have done it without him. We got 3 sexual assault convictions. We were 100%. And for reference, there is a less than a 1% chance that a conviction, that those type of cases will end up in a conviction. So we had a lot of people wondered how we did this. And somebody later asked me, how did the Air Force Academy react? And I said, you know, nobody ever really cared. We got the first conviction since 1997. And then we got 2 more after that. I can't tell you how many people I've gotten promoted off of that, especially in the legal department. But
if I had Teresa, if I had Brandon, if I had someone like Eric, like all these things, how it should be, and I don't think that is too high of an aspiration to have. I don't think things would have been so bad. Maybe there wouldn't have been a conviction, but at least I would have the resources I needed, and at least there would be people trying to help me, versus just me trying to do this alone, or reaching out to people who actually just turned out to be enemies. So.
And how many people were actively involved?
Oh, that guy. You're that guy.
To drug these girls?
It's about 5 football players.
Thomas says one of those players was star linebacker Jamil Cooks. What happened to the girls?
They blacked out, couldn't remember certain things, certain parts of the night. There were roughly about 5 or 6 females who were sexually assaulted.
No, someone did the splice. Part of what I wanted to chat about was my case and how do I get public support. Oh.
Sacrifice a cadet who had tried to do the right thing.
Doing the right thing comes at a cost, and I don't think the academy necessarily like.
Well, what am I? How can I help?
What do you want now?
And they're asking me right now. Slicing.
Star linebacker Jamil Cooks. What happened to the girls?
They blacked out, couldn't remember certain things, certain parts of the night.
No, someone did the splice. Part of what I wanted to chat about was my case and how do I get public support. Oh.
Sacrifice a cadet who had tried to do the right thing.
Doing the right thing comes at a cost, and I don't think the academy necessarily like.
Well, what am I? How can I help?
What do you want now for yourself?
I want to graduate. I want to get my diploma. I want to get my commission. I want my name to be
by my will.
There is no
The question's been
antidote
asked.
for me.
Knowing what you know now, would you go back and do it again?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, what up?
Okay. So I was a CI for OSI, for the Air Force Academy. I do for years now. My story has been in the New York Times, it was on ESPN. That's what that little slice thing was. I suck with tech and whatnot. I've been trying to get back to serving. I was supposed to fly. I was discharged under honorable conditions. And I can get into everything he's doing in his TI, but I was discharged 6 weeks before graduation. So I already had my orders, had everything set for pilot training, and I was gone. Long story short, over, I want to say 5-6 years, investigations, media, attention, tons of other things, and it's kind of 3 arms at play. There's media, and there's politics, and then there's the military. I've been trying to get back in, and if I'm going to work backwards, I didn't get kicked out for anything that was criminal, right? And I think there's like this conception that if you're a CI, then you're working because you're trying to cut a deal and essentially, I guess, kind of balance it out if you're already predisposed to some type of punishment. That wasn't the case with me. Long story short, there was a party that had happened. At that party, there was sexual assault, and there was spice. And I didn't Form 34. Just for your chat, it wasn't a Form 34. I was involuntary discharge. And there was spice at that party. And anyway, this investigative body under the Air Force called OSI, stands for Office of Special Investigation. Doing an investigation into it, and I was brought in as a witness. And they were asking me about this assault that occurred, and they were asking me about drugs at the party. I had nothing to give them. Didn't really know anything. I myself was a soccer athlete, a football player for the academy, and I didn't know anything to give them. But I did tell them you know, if I could help, I would, but I've got no information. So the agent at the time told me, if you do want to do something, if you want to help, would you be willing to become, at the time it was called a confidential source? And I said, yeah. So I signed up with the case center at the time, and tasked to just get as much information as possible on things ranging from, it's kind of a widespread, so anything that kind of hit a federal threshold. Things on drugs was a big point. Sexual assault was a big point. There was a little bit of a, we have a lot of foreign cadets that come in.
Okay.
And there was a lot of cyber issues going on. So anything going on with maybe some of our cyber foreign exchange cadets, things like that. Okay, so anyway, for about 2.5 years, we worked on about 32 cases. Out of those 32 cases, there was 25 cases of sexual assault, 3 of which went to a court-martial and was found in a conviction. And to kind of put in perspective, there hasn't been a conviction at the Air Force Academy since 1997 for sexual assault. At any given base, Air Force base, roughly 1 to less than 1% of any court-martial ends up in an actual conviction. So to have 3 within 2 years was it was big news, obviously.
Okay.
What got me, I guess what kind of blew my cover, was one particular case in which the guy was going to assault the female, and I stepped in, and it was a huge fight, and it kind of blew up. A lot of people, as far as the squadron members, came in to break up the fight. Obviously, that put me on the radar. And the documents that I had signed, given to my command at that time, was taken, and instead of going to my case handler, it kind of went the other pipe, so through the normal chain of command. And so that ultimately it was, if I could put it in simpler terms, it was my documentation that ended up getting me discharged.
Okay, gotcha. Hold on, wait, 1 second. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm reading your chat as I'm talking too, and I'll put this out there. Anything I'm saying and everything I'm saying, I'm always willing to give documentation to. I can give documentation to, and I'm not saying anything I can't support.
I don't understand why girls never charge their phone overnight. Their phones are always dead. It's actually insane as fuck. There's like a trick. I can only do this in real life, but sometimes whenever I think like a trans woman is faking being trans for internet cloud, all I have to do is ask to check their phone, and if their phone's at less than 20%, I know that they're actually trans. It's actually unbelievable how women never fucking charge their phones. I don't get it. I'm so sorry. That was a huge diversion.
Oh,
okay.
No, you're fine.
No.
Dude, speaking of trans, that's how I actually found you. You're doing a trans debate or something, and I work right now as a trans conditioning coach, and I was like, oh, this dude seems pretty cool.
Thanks. I try to be. Okay, so what? So what's the point of? What are you coming to me for? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm coming to you because, so recently, I'm trying to get my story out there. I want to go back to serve. I want to go back to flying. I'm not really.
Can you tell me, when you say like you want to go back to flying or whatever, the way that you make it sound, and I could be wrong, is you make it sound like this discharge was because of was related to this stuff going on, even though it was an honorable discharge. Is that the case, or what?
I'm glad you're bringing it up. That's exactly it. So I was discharged at the academy. We have what's known as demerits, right?
Okay.
And to put into perspective, there's a 200 demerit threshold at the academy. You can get demerits for anything. You get demerits for
bro. It was 5 demerits for detention at my school, and 40 got you expelled. But okay, go ahead.
Dude, it's crazy over there. So like, and you get, it's not just demerits. You know, your punishment ranges, but depending on the egregiousness of the offense. Say you miss a dentist appointment, right? You can get demerits. So and then say you're driving DUI, you can definitely get demerits. So it's a large spectrum. My demerit total when I left the academy was 436 demerits. Okay, the threshold for presumptive discharge is 200.
Okay. For demerits, are these just like in general, like you misbehave or something, or like what is a demerit? Like how do you get a demerit here?
Yeah, so you can literally get a demerit. So let's say you walk out of your room and your uniform is disheveled.
Yeah.
You can get a demerit.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's say, so what I got the demerits for was leaving base when you're not supposed to. So we call that OTF. Demerits for not reporting underage drinking, not reporting alcohol in the squadron. and not reporting a female behind closed doors. All of this is directly linked to one of the cases that ended up in a conviction.
Okay.
And having directed. And so
Are
at the
demerits one of
time-
those things where there's no discretion? It's like if you do it, you're always going to get dinged for it?
No, there's a point of discretion. So depending on the egregiousness, I believe at the time it was like if it was 50 or below. If it was 50 or below, you're pretty much just getting it, right? And you can always try to argue, but you usually don't. Now, if it was
When you say
more
50 or
egregious,
below what?
50 or below demerits. So
Oh no,
50
I meant
demerits
like,
are-
is there discretion in getting the demerit, or are you always supposed to get the demerit if you're caught doing what you get demerited for?
There's discretion in the amount of demerits, but
Okay.
you're pretty much guaranteed to get some type of demerits.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So so I got 436 demerits. Now I was given 436 demerits in the middle of running with OSI. And that was a year and a half prior to my discharge. And again, to put in perspective, you get 200 demerits, they're gone. I got it, and OSI, in my case, that I was working with, was letting me know that they're handling it behind closed doors. They're speaking to the chain of command. Just run with. We had a cover story at the time, but just run with the cover story, and do pretty much keep your head down, do what you're supposed to do. Okay, so that's essentially what we're doing. Operation Gridiron. The reason the video is titled that way is because when the media picked it up, that's what the case was called. And it involved over 50 cadets at the time, and it was a large swath of different things. So that's what we were running in this year and a half time frame. I was also a witness for one of the cases. So I was on the stand speaking for or speaking against one of the now convicted. Then 6 weeks before graduation, I was let go. And so I went and did what you're supposed to do, go to the IG, plead your case. I spoke to my entire command. When I realized that I was being kicked out the door, I said, wait a second, you guys got to talk to OSI. There's this whole other story that you guys don't know about. At the time, my case handler was ordered not to speak to me, not to speak on my behalf.
Because it was a legal matter or whatever, right?
It wasn't even a legal matter. It was more of a command issue. So the academy is it's the cream of the crop of the Air Force, right? And so you it's kind of like a petri dish of every squadron, mission, job, and objective kind of put in there. You're coming out as an officer.
Okay.
And essentially what happened with that is that the agent that I was working with, so when anything happens at the academy, it typically goes straight up the chain of command all the way up to your Secretary of the Air Force most of the time, because they not Secretary of the Air Force, excuse me, Chief of Staff, because they themselves are typically graduates from the academy. So if you kind of look at it like boys club, right? There's a boys club in the military, there's a boys club in D1 athletics, and you put those together and you have Air Force leadership, basically. And so when my case or when these other cases were coming up, they couldn't figure out what is going on at the academy. Like, this is insane to have all these assaults that are coming out. These are people that play on the football team. What is going on? It just seemed like there was this huge swath of this crazy behavior going on. So they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And they didn't know at the time that there was this whole program going on under OSI that was rooting out a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
So when my name came up, and my name came up by my own admission, because I was told when I signed up with OSI that they were letting my chain of command know everything that was going on. And so when, for example, getting demerits for leave invasion are not supposed to, I left and I told them I was leaving. There was nothing hiding. That's to me how I got the demerits. When there was alcohol behind closed doors, well, it was related to an assault. I put it down in a report to OSI. Of course, that's how you guys know it. So every bit of information you have, it came from me. So moving forward, so as I'm getting discharged, at that point, I'm saying, hey, I don't know what I can talk about, because I have a lot of, I guess it would be like an NDA. And some of the cases were still ongoing. But I was telling my chain of command, you need to talk to OSI. Because you got it wrong. There's no reason why I would have been given a pilot slot if I was just a shitbag cadet or Air Force guy. I mean, there's just no way. And so when they went to OSI, they went to the OSI command, and OSI said, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't, he's never worked with us. We didn't tell him to do any of this stuff. And the case handler that I was working with at the time, he essentially said, hey, I was prevented from speaking on your behalf. So if you gotta fast forward.
So you're literally like, you ever seen the movie The Departed?
Yeah.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
you're literally the one cop guy whose file essentially got burned because the guy that knew who you were. When you say CI, you mean confidential informant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're the CIA, one guy knows your shit, and he's prohibited for other reasons from informing anybody else. So when they're trying to verify, hey, you've got all these demerits that you've got on your record, and we need to know what's up, and you're like, oh, well, it's because I'm part of a thing, and that guy's not allowed to talk to you. They just think you're basically just somebody jerking off, basically, right? Jerking around, right?
Pretty close, yeah, pretty close. So it was more like, so from Academy leadership or Air Force leadership, they're just looking at me as like a shitbag guy, right? And they're just like, dude, this dude is just terrible.
Yeah, and you're arguing, you're trying to say that, like, you said you're a pilot?
So so if your AFSC, your Air Force job, your Air Force code is pilot. Pilot's one of the most competitive spots, obviously, in the air.
Yeah, so if you're a pilot, it's unlikely that you're just a random jerk off that's fucking around, right? It seems like there's something else.
Exactly. That's the point. Yep. And not only that, to be honorably discharged, that wouldn't make any sense either. Now, here's kind of the double slap in the face. So I'm honorably discharged, but on my, so you're kind of rated and you're coded when you are discharged. The rating I have is the same rating as somebody who's convicted of a felon, like one of the convicted sexual assault guys. So although I have an honorable, which sounds good, the rating I have, it's essentially like even if we were in World War III, you're still not bringing me back. It's that type of rating, which is insane. They took my diploma.
Somebody in chat wants to know. I'm guessing they're military people. They said, what was the rating?
So the rating was RE4.
Okay.
I don't know if he knows that. It's going to be different, Air Force, Army, Marine. So I come out, I make an IG complaint, or Inspector General complaint. The Air Force, the OSI falls under, and the IG kind of fall under the same branch, if you will. And so at the time, right before I was discharged, excuse me. So at the time, they essentially said, hey, we spoke to OSI and they can't confirm what you're saying. So I put in a FOIA request, multiple FOIA requests. My FOIA requests come back, no records found. At this point, I'm thinking this is fucking insane. Like I was on the witness stand. I wrote. You thought, how can I not get access to anything that I wrote myself? The case handlers I was working with, they're no longer picking up all the connections that I had with OSI as far as different call numbers, different. If I'm stopping, it's because I'm trying not to speak on trade craft, which I could definitely get in trouble for. But some of the ways we could communicate, that was just coming up the picture. So, 5 months, I'm going to say, 7 months. 7 months later, I put in a congressional inquiry. I'm from Texas originally. I'm living in Atlanta right now. I put in a congressional inquiry, and my congressman puts in a request. I also contact a reporter by the name of Dave Phillips in Colorado Springs and told him, hey, I'm only reaching out to you because I'm kind of desperate and I don't know what the hell just went on, but this is the only other arm I can think of. I've exhausted all of my other appeals. So the the congressman puts in a congressional inquiry. The reporter says, okay, let me hear your story. I told him the story. At the time, I had zero documentation. I have an attorney at the time. He's former Air Force. He worked with the JAG, actually worked for OSI for the last 20 years. And he has his suspicions, but again, with no documentation, what can you do? I put in a request, send letters to the Pentagon, send letters to the DoD, telling them, hey, you guys are missing it. There's a whole lot of stuff you guys aren't understanding. I'm trying to get back to serving. I mean, I'm not a spotlight guy. I mean, not at all. I played sports. I got hurt. Last few years, I was just thought I was doing the right thing. One of my friends just said, I could tap into my motives, but I just thought you were all on the same page. So the congressional inquiry comes back, and all of a sudden, there's about 300 pages of documentation that he gets, and in the response, it's a partial release, right? But by this point, I'm already discharged. I give it to the reporter. The reporter starts to poke around. And I want to say 8 months after my discharge, my case handler reaches out to my attorney and says, hey, I'd like to tell you what's going on because even myself, I was being retributed for what was going on with Operation Green. So he begins to share what was happening behind the curtain. The first article comes out, and there's huge waves. So this was right at the same time when there was different reports coming out about us spying across on our allies and things like that. So the media environment was just, I guess, kind of primed for this.
Sure.
And so huge waves, lots of people. I started getting phone calls from reporters and things from all across the globe. People started reaching out, wanting to know what was going on. And I was trying. I wasn't trying to give the Air Force, the institution, a black eye, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie either.
Yeah, and
so
you don't want your own shit to get fucked over trying to cover for other people when Okay.
Exactly, and if you spoke to my mom, my mom's from Brooklyn, she's Puerto Rican. She was like, you need to just go kind of balls to the wall and just screw those guys, kind of thing. And my attorney was thinking, let's try to fix this behind the scenes.
And then just to be clear, so that I have timeline right, just so I can get, this is from 20, this happened like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, and I'll kind of tie it in because it's still ongoing. I'm just trying to give a little background.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, right.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you've got to run, I totally get it.
No, I'm good. I was just curious. Okay. I'm just checking because somebody linked the New York Times, right? Your name is Eric Thomas, I'm guessing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay, just checking. Okay, yeah, go.
Okay. So the article comes out, and different representatives start to get on board. Speak to my case handler. His name is Minos, and he begins to share a whole swath of what was going on behind the scenes. And he was essentially saying, hey, we weren't allowed to talk, or I was ordered not to speak on your behalf. His commander basically started to, what's the word? I don't want to say he faced retribution, but he went from, put in perspective, he went from Agent of the Year to take out the trash can. When I started talking, saying, hey, I need some help. So Enos, he was getting out when that first article came out, and so he was speaking on background, and different representatives get involved. And so I want to say over the span of 6 years, it is a back and forth between investigations that the Air Force says that they're enacting. Senator Gillibrand, Senator Thune of South Dakota signed a bipartisan MFR to initiate a DOD IP investigation, and I'm exhausting the appeals that you can do for the military. It's called the BCMR. Now this is where things just kind of, I guess, get fucked and kind of puts me in the position that I am in today. So as this is going on in the realm of public domain, the Air Force is essentially saying two things. A, we knew everything that was going on, and although he was a great help for OSI, these were actually his friends. He was a fucked up cadet, a bad apple, couldn't stay out of trouble.
Wait, hold on, just so I can get all the pronouns. He said these are his friends. The Air Force is saying that the people that you turned in were your friends, and you were all kind of fucking around together. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
They're essentially saying that these guys who are rapists, and just so everyone knows, I'm not like, if you're gonna say like snitch or whatever, these were people. This was like undoubtedly rapes. Like these weren't anything that was like a sexual assault. This was hold down, tear the pants. Each conviction was never a 1-to-1 ratio of victim to perpetrator. We're talking about a perpetrator with 8 or 7 victims. That's why the victim count is so high.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's what we're dealing with here. So to insinuate that these guys are friends, especially when they're in different squadrons, they're different grades, is, to me, it was just insane. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. These aren't what? But that's what they were putting out in the public domain. And then the second thing they were saying, so their narrative shifts, because they didn't know. And that was my whole point, was if you would sit down and talk to me, or talk to the case handler, you'll know the whole story. And my argument then, as it was now, is the Air Force didn't know before making their decision, and made their decision on partial information. Okay. So after it came out there, and because it was such a big wave, in efforts to kind of protect the institution, the narrative consistently began to change to the point where it said we knew everything, and they did. As this came out, the guys that got convicted started to go back to appeal, because they didn't know at the time of their court-martial that there was a CI on their case. So now this can of worms is getting even more complicated, right? Because these guys who were found guilty now have a good argument to go back and say, hey, it was our right to know if there was a someone working for the feds on this case. We didn't know that.
Okay.
So during that period, though, and this puts us into about, I want to say, 4 years ago. During that period of one of the former cadets, airman, his name is the convicted Stephon Claxton. He is going through his appeals process, and in that appeals process, the agents that were working, that I was working with and that was working his case, are now under oath. And so now we have an official transcript in a court of appeals in which the OSI agents, this is, mind you, 6 years up from discharge now, or 5 years up from discharge now, coming out to say, hey, yeah, this is what we were doing. We were running them. This is what he was tasked with. This is what he couldn't say. Because of the gravity of some of the cases, I had to go through a lie detector test constantly to make sure that what I was saying was not just true, but that I wasn't speaking about OSI to anyone. And so as this information is coming out and going through the courts, the Air Force changes it up a little bit and says, okay, well, we knew most of it, but we didn't know these things. And even if we did know these things, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the discharge or anything else. Okay. Fast forward, I've worked with I want to say over 10 years now. Over 10 years, I've worked with almost every representative that you think would have an interest in this on both sides of the aisle. Each one, and every time they've responded or wanted to do something, they normally go through the normal paths of appeal, through investigation, or so forth and so on. The DOD investigation that Senator Gillibrand had and Senator Clinton had enacted, what they found was that OSIs, they looked at the bigger picture and they said, well, the Air Force didn't know, and this is the conflicting part, the Air Force didn't know of everything that was going on with you and OSI, so it's impossible that there would have been any type of retaliation. That's the question that the DOD OIG was asking.
Okay.
The other avenue of appeal is called the BCMR, stands for the Board of Military Review Correction, or Correction Reviews. Anyway, they have the power if somebody was discharged to modify that discharge, whether it be from honorable upgrade their discharge from say dishonorable to general under honorable, or general under honorable to honorable, and they have the power for reevaluation if someone is trying to say get back in or get certain benefits or so forth. Okay. So that body has the power to modify all things. That appeals process found that the Air Force, they asked the question, did the Air Force have all the information at the time of discharge to make a proper decision, basically? And the Air Force said, yes, we did. So
and you're saying no, they didn't because they couldn't talk to your handler, basically, right?
Right. What I'm saying is that there's two conflicting narratives. When you're going to the DOD OIG and you're saying, of course there wasn't retaliation because we didn't know anything that was going on to retaliate against. That's one. But when you go to the BCMR and you say, well, of course we knew everything, so our paperwork is on and you discharged off of full understanding and acknowledgement of his dealings with OSI, well, that's another. They both can't be true. Right?
Sure.
And but these reports came out at different times. The DOD OIG report comes out in 2016, 2017. The BCMR Court of Appeals, you have two opportunities, and I appealed twice. One came out in 2016, and I think the other one came out in 2017. And when they both came out, I sat there and I said, especially with counsel, and I've worked with counsel from Colorado, the JAG that I was saying, and also in DC, a law firm called Covington Law Firm, very well-known law firm up there. And they essentially said, look, you could sue them and go to court, but the courts don't have the power per se to get you what you want and what you're trying to do, because there's a bit of a jurisdiction issue in terms of powers that the courts have. So your best bet is to try to speak to someone with authority to review your case and put some influence behind it. So I don't go, and the reason I bring it up is because I'm not going back to the DOD to create an appeal using the findings of the BCMR. neither am I going to be smart to appeal the findings of the DD because they're so contrast. Going down that road, according to my counsel at the time, was pretty futile. So that only left one option: politics and the people, media. And so around 2017, that's what I started to try to do, was garner some support in those directions. And so I'm speaking and sharing my story to as many people as are willing to listen. In 2018, the findings of the Claxton appeal, one of the convicted guys, comes out. And there's an audio opinion from the Chief Justices that to me, I thought this is kind of my silver bullet, where they say the government lied. And then I can send that to you if you ever want to listen to it. But they basically said the government lied. They were running, didn't tell anybody, running this case on Claxton, using ET or Eric Thomas, and intentionally withheld the information on what he was doing. The Claxton case is the case that I was discharged for.
Yeah.
Prior to Claxton's case, I'm not the smartest guy, so I've always struggled academically, but everything else was sound. And I was on the road to graduation. So when that comes out, I'm sharing it with as many people as possible, but at the same time, I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible. So, when I was working with Senator Gillibrand, for example, she wanted me to speak and start, putting my case and attach it to things like Title 10. At the time, she was trying to sign a bill that would take sexual powers out of the command in terms of sexual assault and give to civilians and whatnot. And I was just trying really hard not to make my case super political. I tried reaching out to, at the time, in the very beginning, I tried reaching out to the Obama administration and different advocacy groups, women advocacy groups, tried to write letters on my behalf. It went just completely ignored. And tried reaching out to the Biden campaign at the time, which was a campaign for sexual assaults around college campuses. That went ignored. Fast forward to the Trump administration, ironically enough, I was able to get in contact with someone pretty high up in the Trump administration and shared my story with them, with all the details, they all and everybody else that's in my story. They shared what they knew, gave documentation, so forth, and that person went and spoke to President Trump with kind of a summary of my entire case. He looked at it because the executive side, it's not a pardon because I didn't do anything criminal, but the commander-in-chief has the authority, obviously, to put me back in. And looked at it, I got a notice that said, hey, here's an MFR, or not MFR, what's called a presidential letter that we're looking at writing. Want to see if this looks right on your end? I said, yeah. They took it back, and they said they're getting it reviewed under legal and so forth. So here I am sitting. This is 2020, what was it? The year right before Trump got out? 2020? Is that 2020?
2020, yeah.
2020, yeah. They're looking at it, and it's just sitting on review. And at that point, I'm thinking, okay, great. I'm going to get a signature. Then I don't know what happened. I'm guessing I fell beneath the cracks or something, or I don't know. But it didn't get signed, obviously. So then it puts me all the way back to square one. Give you an idea, Destiny Man, I've moved from state to state just trying to, if I thought there was a political or a media angle in terms of these people could help me, but maybe I should be in their state. That's literally what I've been doing for the last 10 years. I've gone from Arizona to, Colorado Springs to South Dakota, from South Dakota to Arizona.
I'm hearing your story. I have no idea how I'm supposed to, what I can do for any of this.
No. I know you're not going to be able to do anything, but the reason I thought I'd talk to you is I'm trying. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to reach the Biden administration, and really I'm just looking for an opportunity to talk to somebody who has the authority to do something on my case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a line to Biden or anything, so yeah. But go ahead.
That'd be awesome. That'd be sick. But to do that, from what I've been told, I suck with this stuff, man. This isn't even trick. But I thought maybe, and the reason I was talking to you and I talked to everyone is, what's the best way to try to garner support or find an angle? Because there's no textbook to this. I mean, you don't know. I don't know. Legal definitely doesn't know. The only way I got to Trump was by sermons. I went to church. One of the people that I was talking to there at the time knew a person very high up and got me a meeting with them. So it was just kind of complete circumstantial there. I've sent letters. That doesn't work. I've reached out, and I'm black.
Yeah, as a proud Black American of color, trying to, if you're a single parent household, I don't know, flex as many of those fucking credentials as you can. Like I don't know. That'd be my thing, but I don't know who would be the best person you could go to or anything. I have no fucking idea. I just truly don't know. Yeah.
I hear you, man. That's what the challenge is that it's not about I guess the story as much as it's about the microphone or I don't know, vector of voice to whom I should talk to. I've tried. What's weird is I've tried meeting like the guy that wrote the New York Times article. You know, he wants and he has been trying to write more on it.
Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. Mini bulking, is it? Whatever you want to call it.
And so
usually that is best done for like 8 to 16 weeks. Intentionally, just putting on fat from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9%.
To say, hey, you know, how would you kind of just get, I guess, seen and noticed at the end of the day?
Yeah, I truly have no idea. I'm not sure. Yeah. You could try shooting a message to Hassan. I don't know if he would hear this. I don't think he does this type of stuff.
My concern, man, is like when I've listened. I don't really listen to those guys. I've maybe heard like 2 things, but I just don't like when like you try to like twist stuff. You know what I mean? Like
when you try to what stuff?
Alex Eubank is currently, as in right now, not natural. And finally, I caught you. Alex Eubank posted a video, my test levels coming clean. And by the end of the video, you're going to agree with Coach Greg that Alex Eubank is currently, as in right now, not natural. And as you know, I stated in the past, I believe he did SARMs. Thought he did SARMs and then stopped the SARMs. And then later on, as in the past couple of months, he's been taking something of which I'm going to say exactly what it is.
I haven't had much caffeine today. I'm trying to chill a little bit and cleanse so I can like reset my androgen receptors.
Alex Eubank's cutting down on the caffeine. He hasn't been training as hard. He's been slacking off in the gym. Been eating more, eating whatever he wants, going to fast food points, enjoying the life. He's trying to paint the picture that because of all of this, it allows his testosterone levels to go through the roof. And remember, I'm on HRT. I, in fact, inject testosterone, and his testosterone levels, well, they're higher than mine. This is a guy who was formerly hypogonadal. Testosterone levels around 225. He blamed it on the fact that he had dieted, that he hadn't eaten enough, that he had gotten to single-digit body fat. And a lot of people, they bought that. They believed him. Why wouldn't you? Good-looking, young, charismatic guy. Why would we not believe in him? But no, Coach Greg, you know I'm going to tell you what I think, unbiased and unfiltered. I said, I don't believe it. I believe he took SARMs at this point, and then he got off. And so he's benching 2 plates for 9 reps. He doesn't want to exert himself. He's holding back a little bit.
I had 2 more, but I don't want to overexert myself.
He claims his testosterone levels in the past are down because of stress, overworking, getting too lean to 9% body fat. But now that he's slacking off and got super fat, oh my goodness, look how bloated I am. Look at my physique. He says himself, it's about 13% body fat. He goes through the poses, etc., but the guy looks absolutely incredible. So he went from 9% body fat at his leanest, shredded, to now 13% body fat. It's about 4 extra percent. That's not much. For most people, that could take 2 to perhaps 4 weeks of eating freely.
I'm extremely bloated right now. I feel like a fat ass. I feel like I just have gas in me. Probably because I had McDonald's last night, and the night before that I had Taco Bell.
And so I'm extremely bloated right now. I'm a fat ass. I ate McDonald's, indigestion. Woe is me. Look at my physique. Remember, I've stated in the past, I do believe that Alex Eubank has body dysmorphia. You can debate me if you want, but does this look like a guy who's a bloated, fat ass to you. Props to Alex Eubank to have the bravery to unveil the physique with all that going on, all that extra body fat, the Taco Bells, the McDonald's, eating whatever he wants, not training harder than last time in the gym.
Probably because I had McDonald's last night, and the night before that I had Taco Bell, and then I had Crumble Cookie. It's honestly been tragic. I'll show you the physique after literally eating whatever the hell I want for the last 2 months and doing like no cardio. I can't even take my freaking wife beater off.
And so it's absolutely tragic. He can't remove the shirt. It's absolutely horrible. The unveiling of the guy hasn't done cardio 2 weeks. It's horrible. It's tragic. It's tragic. I don't know what to say.
Some of you guys might not be able to tell, but if you like, I can tell based on where I look like right here. So when I do this pose,
I mean, at his leanest in comparison to now, yeah, he gained a little bit of fat. Remember what I've always stated? 15% body fat. Have I stated Alex Eubank should remain at 9% body fat, or have I stated healthy body fat for you? Perhaps 13%. This look is exactly where he should be. Why would he bulk and cut when he feels perfect like this? But notice, mentally, he doesn't like this look. He thinks he has to again go on a mini cut. He's going to film the whole thing and then bulk up again, film that too. Why not just look the way you look? You look incredible. Stay at this point. Testosterone levels now are through the roof. So especially, we'll get into that. But why not maintain this look right now? And so those of you watching this, do not think this is fat. Although Alex thinks he's bloated and a mess, this is amazing.
For no diet and no cardio, we're looking all right.
And so he's trying to paint the picture that, well, because I stopped doing cardio and I'm not dieting anymore, it's allowed my testosterone levels to go literally through the roof. And so is that the secret? All we have to do to put on a bunch of muscles, to stop training, stop working out so hard, relax all day long, eat McDonald's, get bloated, have Taco Bell, and that will recover your testosterone levels and make them through the roof, higher than when you're on HRT.
You know what I could do with this video that would be so easy is to show my blood work, my recent blood work, and show how my test went high. But I already know it's going to create controversy.
I mean, it writes itself. You know what? I got some good content. Right, I'm going to show my testosterone levels, but I know it's going to create some controversy. He knows it. He knows because it's that high.
It's like I don't even take my fish oil or my multivitamin. I forget to take that. I forget to take my D3 in the morning. How am I going to remember to take anything else? Like, I don't know. I'm already defending myself.
Why would he already creating a defense if he was actually innocent? Oh, you know, I can't even remember to take vitamin D or fish oil. I can't remember to take this or that. And so clearly I could never remember to take a performance enhancing drugs. The fact that I forget to take a multivitamin, that's proof that I could never be unnatural.
Because I know, as much as I love like Greg Doucette, that if I show my blood work, him, more plates, more dates, all these guys are gonna make a video. Alex Eubank confirmed not natty.
Exactly. And here's the video. Are you ready for it? Alex Eubank confirmed not natural. His words and me repeating them.
This is the most genetically blessed I've been.
And so this is the most genetically blessed he's been so far. Genetically blessed doesn't change over time. It's in your genetics. You can't change your genetics. And so he's been eating whatever he wants and not doing cardio, and suddenly he looks way bigger than last time. Remember, he's not fat. Those of you say, oh, Coach Greg's main gaining doesn't work. Does Alex Eubank look like he got fat? My advice to Alex would be to main gain at 13% body fat. Why not stay here? And so imagine if Alex Eubank were actually natural right now at 13% body fat, would there be any reason for him to go on a bulk?
Steroids
Why
after
would he
4
not
months
maintain
has
this right
done this
now?
to my back,
Remember,
and I gotta say it's
I don't
worth
think
it.
he's
After
natural.
doing a bit of research, I found
What
out that steroids actually give you back acne, and it's not great. My back is completely covered in scars, and it feels pretty terrible all the time, but I do like being able to go to the gym more.
It is hard to wrap your head around where we've come as an industry, if indeed he is lying. What's up, guys? Derek, moreplates.com. Today we are finally reacting to the meathead John Joshua James. He is 4 months on gear, starting gear immediately off the bat within 0 days. Like, he literally started going to the gym and started hitting the Sazul immediately. Before pin, 150 pounds versus 180 pounds in 4 months. Don't do what I do. Claims he is doing this as an experiment. This is his TikTok that went viral, 22 million views, about his back and why he is doing this.
Steroids after 4 months has done this to my back, and I gotta say it's worth it. After doing a bit of research, I found out that steroids actually give you back acne, and it's not great. My back is completely covered in scars, and it feels pretty terrible all the time, but I do like being able to go to the gym more. I finally hit 180 pounds, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
So that video completely blew up, 22 million views with over 13,000 comments, you know, and most people saying how he should get off. What is he doing? It doesn't even look like he's on gear. Why would you put your body through this for the results he's getting? You could get the newbie gains without the gear, just fucking do it naturally. Now, this is kind of an interesting one because I do see the style of video he is doing, the really, you know, aggressive, like I almost feel like I'm watching like a Mr. Beast intro to a video, but it's about a guy doing gear who's never worked out. Is like, I think this is a interesting, and as you can see, he went from nothingness to like pretty fucking noticeably on gear, or at least made a shit ton of gains in a condensed period. This is a limited time offer as far as I know, the 40% off, so.
Exactly, I think he's taking.
I'm definitely resting a lot more. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. My workouts are not nearly as intense as they used to be. I used to train a lot more harder, a lot more consistently.
And so he used to train harder than last time, but since then, he's decided to train easy. He's taken his time, he's eaten McDonald's, Wendy's, and so on, and that is the reason why his physique has suddenly got better. And so, you know, the secret really is you slack off in the gym, you don't do cardio, and you eat whatever you want, and you make amazing progress. Why are you all progressively overloading? Why are you training harder than last time? That's not the secret. Just slack off and you'll become amazing.
I really should not do this. I want to talk about my testosterone levels being just extraordinarily, not extraordinarily, still in the natural range, but just being way higher than they were.
And so let's just talk about how my testosterone levels are extraordinarily high. And then he corrects himself, not extraordinarily high, you know, in the top end of the normal range for some people in the world. Does it look like he's bulked up to 20%? Does it look like it should be that much higher? This is somebody who was formerly hypogonadal, testosterone levels around 225, who claimed it was 100% natural. And so if you claim to be hypogonadal due to being at 9% body fat and you increase your levels to 13%, yeah, it could go up, perhaps from 200 something to 400 something. Maybe to his all-time best of even 600 plus, maybe. But would it be higher than Coach Greg's highest level that I've been on HRT in years? Would it be higher than 800? Would it be higher than 900? Well, let's see.
Greg and them might make a little video on it, but I'm still claiming 100% natural.
And so Greg and them might make a video on it, but I'm still claiming 100% natural. And so although he knows that after I see this blood work, I'm going to say he's not natural, he still claims he's 100% natural. But why bother? Does anyone think that Alex Eubank is actually natural at this point? Well, perhaps you still do because